All right. And we're live. Nice. Username. How's it going, man? How you doing? Captain Panda. Hey, how's it going? Hello, nephew. Nightwalker. How's it going? Wallflower. How's it going, man? How you doing? Alright, let's see if we can get our first fucking chess win today. Wrongs. How's it going, man? How you doing? This motherfucker's pre-moving? You kidding me with this? Hello, I'm gonna just have you in the background. What's your ELO? It used to be like 1200 Wallflower, and then as I've found out, not playing for 2 years will really fuck up your ELO. I lost to like a 800 yesterday. It's bad. It's bad. I don't want to talk about it. It's fine. I really don't mind. Ramiro, how's it going? Can you read until 8:18, 8:19 if you feel it's not enough? Okay, sounds good. Sounds good, Wrongs. Okay, that's good to know. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Please gamble 2 million. No, 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 no. We're not gonna do any. Okay, we can keep gambling to infinity until we feel like it's enough. Okay, no, we're not doing that. Because at that point, I'm just waiting until I lose everything. That's ridiculous. I'm not doing all that. No, he wins that. When you pinned the horse, you should have moved your horse. Yeah, probably. Luvion, how's it going, man? Milosh, how's it going? All right, let me just quickly lose this game, and then we can start reading. I might just read till 9:17, just because I didn't get a chance to have breakfast this morning, so I'm really hungry. So coming to end of volume 4, any predictions? I think Klein is going to become a demigod sooner than I thought. I was originally thinking chapter 1000, but the more I think about it, the more it feels like it'll be sooner. Do 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 ba 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 da da ba da da. Hey, how's it going, man? How you doing? Rose taking his ELO to read quicker. Pushcar, how's it going, man? DSV, I don't give a shit about my ELO anymore. My ELO's already in the fucking toilet. What does it even matter? Fuck you, Romero. I did see that. I don't want to see it anymore. Will another yesterday happen today? I don't know. What are you referring to? You're going to have to be more specific. Wow, my king is protected as fuck. It's also a very scary position to be in because all my fucking things are right here. It's not great. Do 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 do. Queen, how's it going? I'm so hyped for these chapters. Let's go, baby. Oh, that does suck. No, we can just go here. It's fine. I'm so excited to see what we're gonna do with Mr. Azik, though. Are we gonna head to Calderon City? What's happening, you know? Bitch. Okay, so I go here. No, here, 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 here. Yeah, I'm okay. What do you think is gonna happen? I think they're gonna head to Calderon City. Wait, no. Azik didn't know where Calderon City was. No. Are they gonna go figure out what's happening with the whole death situation? You dumbass. Oh, he's just gonna get... Oh, it's checkmate. If he sees it. He has 45 seconds. There's no reason he shouldn't see it. Ah, yes. Incredibly high elo, Adam. Yes. I'm not surrendering, bitch. You can make me. That's fine. Alright, Azik. Yes, let's figure out what's happening. Let's go! Fuck it. I don't even really give a shit about the game. Let's go. 9:13? Yes. Klein's preparatory work. Listen, I'm not good at fucking 3 minutes, okay? I don't think that quickly. I can think decently well in terms of like my chess preparation, but I prefer like 10 minutes. I do much better on it. Realistically, like 5 minutes is good, but 3 minutes is just rough for me. Right. Ready? Of course not, Klein smiled as he pointed at Enzo. That glove still needs sealing. As he spoke, the badly sunburnt Enzo... Oh yeah, I forgot he fucking roasted the fuck out of his new marionette. This motherfucker might as well have put him on a barbecue. Chris, how's it going, man? Normally, Klein intended to throw a creeping hunger above the grey fog when it wasn't in use. After all, the glove's original seal had been disabled after its mutation. It needed to consume a living being on a daily basis, otherwise it would feast on the wearer. However, considering that Mr. Azik has already replied, it's very likely that he would meet him soon. Finally, he decided to keep creeping hunger in the real world unless there were unique circumstances. After all, he could already imagine the scene of Mr. Azik arriving. He didn't wish for such a conversation to happen. Didn't you say that the glove needs sealing? Yes, give me a second. I need to use the washroom. Or, are you ready? No, I need to use the washroom. Bro, trust Mr. Azik. This is the one thing I will say I disagree with Klein on. I would trust Mr. Azik with the Grey Fog. I feel like if there's anyone worthy of knowing that secret, it's Mr. Azik. He's helped you from day one. Dr. Z, how's it going? Just the thought of a similar scene and similar line embarrassed Klein, making him feel awkward. Even if he didn't consider the possibility of Mr. Azik realizing the secret above the Grey Fog, this would also leave an impression on him. Bro's not going to survive in Lord of the Mysteries? I would, Thunder. I feel like I have a good chance, okay? I'm not saying I would reach demigod. I'm saying I got a good chance of not dying immediately. Therefore, after obtaining a new marionette and completing his attempts at looking at himself, Klein brought Creeping Hunger back to the real world. Unlike before, the wearer was now Enzo. Nah, you're dying? Nah, I'd win, Milosh. Aside from that, to restrain Creeping Hunger's urge to eat a person daily, Klein carried a few normal mushrooms with him. He also made the marionette maintain a distance of at least 5 meters from him. He carried a few normal mushrooms. Oh, Mr. Azik. Oh, I guess Creeping Hunger doesn't know they're not the mutated mushrooms. Unc adventure to find the legendary demoness. A whiz adventure. Oh my god, DSV. That would be the 4th thing I'd be doing. I'd be like, you know what? Strength can wait. A taste of a demoness ain't bad. Aside from that, to restrain creeping hunger's urge to eat a person daily, nope, I already read this. Upon hearing his words and seeing the marionette's action, Azik nodded and reached out to receive the human skin glove. Taking this opportunity, Klein took out a few mushrooms from his pocket and threw them into a nearby trash can. Pah! He snapped his fingers, igniting the mushrooms with a scarlet flame. However, it didn't affect anything around it. This was his flame-controlling power from being a magician. After completing this action and seeing Mr. Azik's inevitable glance, Klein chuckled. The unforeseeable developments back then has made creeping hunger a little afraid of mushrooms. I'm using its weakness to restrain its urges. In fact, there wasn't much point in doing so because carrying the mushrooms restrained creeping hunger. It made the starving sealed artifact immediately lash back the moment the mushrooms disappeared. Unless there was any easily obtainable food in front of it, it would end up aiding the enemy. Mushroom, Azik muttered as he held the glove, which had been bloodstained on its surface. He made the surroundings turn dark, and the sunlight outside was prohibited from entering. Ghastly white, dark green, complicated symbols and labels and patterns appeared out of thin air. They appeared to be calligraphed by invisible wraiths, shadows, and spirit bodies. If Ankh can't find, he can always become one. No, I couldn't do that. They meshed together in mid-air, forming a mysterious, illusory, double bronze door that seemed to lead to another world. It was deeply silent and terrifying. Alright, no worries, guy. I appreciate you popping by, man. Hey, have a good night. The illusory door shrank and finally landed on creeping hunger, causing the bloodstains to rapidly recede, making it mostly white. A few seconds later, this human skin glove returned to normal. It was still a thin-layered glove, and even without its suppressive effects with the mushrooms, it didn't express any mania or urges. It's like how it was before. Azik handed creeping hunger back to Klein. That was so easy. It took him like 4 seconds. He was like, give me the glove. It's done. Having a big shot backing you sure feels good, Klein reflected inwardly and sincerely thanked him. He thought for a moment and raised, Mr. Azik, when I was carrying your copper whistle while passing through the Berserk Sea, I had the same dream repeatedly. Oh, are they gonna try to head back there, maybe? The main theme of the dream is darkness and coldness. In an inverted underground mausoleum, there were countless coffins with the deceased's bodies inside. On their back were dense white feathers. Drink a witch potion at 20k? Who's gonna make the witch potion, Milos? You have one handy in Serbia by chance? I don't have one here. We burned them at, well, not me, but like they burned them at the stake in like, I don't know, 400 years ago. Nightwalker does? Username does too? What? No. You guys burned them in the UK too, no? You were the ones doing the burning, Ankh? No. I was watching. Those feathers were tainted with pale yellow oil, and deep inside the mausoleum was a blob of black fog that enveloped everything. Sahil, how's it going, man? How you doing? We had the occult revival in the UK. You don't know? Really? Is that a thing? In the dream, you and I were exploring the mausoleum. We triggered something, causing the black fog to produce panting sounds as the thin, illusory black tubes extended. I would jolt myself awake whenever I reached this point in the dream. Leo Sam, how's it going, man? How you doing? Feather, oil, KFC. Coincidence? This seems to be similar to the byproduct of the Numinous Episcopate's artificial death project that previously happened. As Klein described in detail his divination of the copper whistle as a dream, he did this as a warning to Mr. Azik, as if to say that he shouldn't be careless. After all, the dream divination was, in a sense, equivalent to a dream. And Azik knew that he was a beyonder of the seer pathway. Having such an encounter wasn't anything odd. 1960s, loads of witches. Interesting. Having a revelation from a normal dream and getting a revelation from a dream divination only differed in one way, one being passive and the other active. Azik nodded. It's likely something related to the death left in the Berserk Sea. From the looks of it, the Numinous Episcopate's death project has had some qualitative progress. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put on some different music. Because you guys can probably hear my niece crying in the background. Maybe. Or maybe you can't. I don't know. We can. Why is she crying? She unfortunately has to take a shower, and she's very not happy about that. Making progress to give birth to death. Ironic. What do you mean? Barely. Oh, good God. Okay. Mr. Azik lives up to being a death console. He doesn't belittle my dreams at all. Klein raised his right hand and rubbed his face, turning into Gehrman. He then only said, "Abuse making them take a shower. Yes, I know. Ugh. If only she could just play in the rain all day without ever having to fucking, take a shower, all that stuff. Ugh. Yeah, no. I only have one thing I need to prepare. I need to confirm if the Admiral Hell Ludwell isn't somewhere dangerous and there aren't any Numinous Episcopate demigods around. As for whether the Murloc cufflink was still on a ship... Oh, are they gonna go kill Admiral Hell? For his ring or whatever? This was because he would check on it every few days. He believed that Admiral Hell had yet to discover the mystical item, or he might have already discovered it but deliberately not moved it, hoping to lay an ambush for Gehrman. Azik calmly replied, "That can be confirmed when we're nearby." Alright. Klein immediately made Enzo walk to the coat rack and pull out the golden cane. Cane? Seeing that there was nothing else, Azik reached out his right hand and grabbed Klein's shoulder. If you don't bathe every day, you'll be bald. That was mean. That was so mean. You implied that I don't shower every day and that I'm bald. That's crazy. Okay. Klein made Enzo... nope, already read that. Seeing that there was nothing else, Azik reached out to grab Klein's shoulder. I also found that so funny yesterday when fucking Azik grabbed Enzo's shoulder, teleported away, and then he was like, "You ain't the guy, what the fuck?" And then he came back. Klein also reached out his right palm to grab onto Enzo's shoulder. The surrounding colors suddenly changed, the reds became redder and the blacks blacker. They stacked against each other, but were bright and discordant. The two men and marionettes began passing through the spirit world as the black and gold inlaid cane danced around, pointing to the direction of Klein's Murloc cufflink. Merlin, how's it going? Actually, bathing every day is not good for your skin and hair. Yeah, but the weather here is like at least it's really well. One, I've always taken a shower every day, so it's just as. Oh, that's just his thoughts. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay. Her main profile is orange, Milosh, but this one is pink. One, I always take a shower every day. It's just like a habit, so it is what it is. And secondly, the last couple of days it's been raining and it's hot, so it's like humid and disgusting, so like, fuck me, ugh. He seemed to be watching, wait, what happened? Before long, the cane fell down and was suspended in midair. Azik terminated the traveling, but they remained in the spirit world. He seemed to be watching something or listening in on something. After 2 or 3 seconds, he said, there aren't any problems. With that said, he brought Klein, while Klein brought his marionette out of the spirit world. Why would you care about hair? Milos, her main account isn't her name isn't this name. It's like doctor.z. some numbers or whatever, right? Meanwhile, Klein recalled the time he searched for clues to Azik's memories. Back then, the target was an ancient chronicle that Vice Admiral Tracy possessed. Arthur, how's it going, man? How you doing? In Brazil, 2 baths a day is the minimum. Yeah, but Brazil's also hot as fuck. Back then, Azik had said the problem isn't serious, and in the end, he faced the demoness of unaging, Katerina. There aren't any problems. Alright, since you say so, Klein lampooned. Well, yeah, but to him, that wasn't serious. He was looking at what I would assume is a fucking saint of a sequence 3, and he's like, you wanna fucking go? I'd win. He's like, she's strong, but it ain't nothing serious. I'd win every time. It was a rather familiar environment. It was a huge ship with mainly dark colors with a ghostly green to it. It had a black tulip flag, as well as zombies, skeletons, wraiths, shadows, and other undying creatures. All of this proved that it was the flagship, Black Tulip, of the Admiral Hell. Oh, we're gonna kill another Admiral. Bro, what do you guys... Okay, I was gonna say what do you guys, but you guys already know. What the fuck is Gehrman's bounty gonna be in like 2 days? Unlike Klein's last encounter, the Black Tulip had a number of living beyonders. The silver-masked captain with an exaggerated rapier, frilly shirt, and a gorgeous coat, Admiral Hell Ludwell, was standing by the captain's cabin. Suddenly, the black ring on Ludwell's hand trembled. The pale white flame in the arrogant pirate's eyes wavered. Immediately, Ludwell bent his back, prostrated to the ground in front of Azik Eggers, and kissed the deck under the gaze of either glazed, surprised, or lifeless eyes. Oh shit! He said, my goat, death itself is here. Goated. Oh shit. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Dude, I love that. At a certain point, you know, like your reputation precedes you, that whole thing. Like, Azik doesn't even have to do the work, because he's like, my existence is proof that you don't want to do this. I think that's how you spell mausoleum. Azik is him, bro. That's insane. Like, he literally showed up, and an Admiral of the Sea was like, my lord, I am at your service. Upon seeing Admiral Hell's reaction, Klein and the living crew of the Tulip could hardly believe their eyes. He had originally imagined 2 scenarios. The first was Ludwell requesting help from the numinous Episcopate demigod to ambush Gehrman and the powerhouse backing him. This wasn't impossible, since the Sequence 7 of the Death Pathway was spirit medium, and had the ability to sense impending danger. Yes, but again, a higher sequence can affect the abilities of a lower sequence of the same pathway. So Azik is like walking through, and Azik's mere existence makes it impossible to sense him. He's like, you ain't gonna see shit until I tell you to, bitch. The second was that Admiral Hell hadn't made any preparations. He tried resisting, but ended up being easily finished off by Mr. Azik. His conqueror... Yeah, exactly. This is like the... Wait. Okay, wait. Oh, I'm probably gonna get fucking copyright struck for this, but I don't care. I love this scene so much. This shit. Hold on. I know not everyone here is One Piece stans, but I love One Piece, so I'm gonna bring it up all the same. This is like, so like after Wano ended, all of the Straw Hats are like tired and like they're recovering, And one of the fucking admirals sneaks onto Wano to kill them. And Shanks is not, he's not even on the island. He's like, how dare you? And he fucking paralyzes him. All the way from back here, he's like, it's rather classless for you to be doing this shit, bro. This is an admiral. Are there 3 admirals or are there 4 right now? I can't remember. There's 3, right? I think. Oh, this shit was so good. Like Admiral Green, like this is the first time we're seeing this admiral. We're like, oh my god, admirals are hype as fuck. They're gonna be so strong. And Shanks is like, you ain't shit, brother. Chill. He's so far away. He knocked out half his own crew. Oh, this shit is so goated, man. 3 in 1 fleet admirals? Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. I don't know why. I thought there might be 4. Wait, who are the... Oh, right. Okay, there's Kizaru, the Fujiwara, and that guy, right? What's your favorite type of justice among the admirals? It's... Weirdly enough, it's actually... Well, if I'm giving a serious answer, it was... fuck's sakes. Who was the guy that that challenged... for the fleet admiral but lost and is now on the Blackbeard's crew? What's his fucking... Fujitora. Oh, not Fujiwara. Yes, thank you very much. But it's yeah, sorry, my bad. I haven't seen One Piece in a while. Aokiji. Yes, exactly. I think the serious answer is Aokiji. On a funny note, it'd probably be Kizaru, because that shit's just the indifferent. He's like, justice is what I want it to be, basically. Love that. Lyle, how's it going? But on a serious note, it's Aokiji, yeah. I think that's fair. Okay. To his surprise, Admiral Hell didn't put up a fight. Lazy justice, yeah, exactly. To his surprise, Admiral Hell didn't put up a fight at all. He directly prostrated himself and kissed the deck as though he was Azik's most loyal and humble servant. How are we gonna fight now? Klein shook his head. And it was silent across the... I choose Akainu. Bro, Akainu sucks. That guy is fucking horrible. He killed Ace Ramiro. How could you? He killed Ace. My goat. Azik raised his hand and pressed down on his silk hat as he walked towards the prostrating Ludwell. 1 step. 2. 3... He stopped in front of Ludwell and said, "What stage has the Numinous Episcopate's artificial death project reached?" Nagito, how's it going? Ramiro, I fucking dare you. Call him a donut again. I will take away your mod powers. I love you, but don't you fucking dare. Ace, how dare you? I miss him every day. Ludwell kept his forehead peeled to the ground as he said, "The artificial death can already influence high-sequence Beyonders who have failed their advancements, but it's still unable to reply to prayers and rituals. This is the concern. As soon as I threaten Ramiro, Milos starts getting power hungry, and I'm like, fuck, I can't really do much to Ramiro. I'm kind of stuck, you know? Katakuri and Ace look great together? Jesus Christ. You see, Ramiro, this is what you do. When you act like this, you give Lord Baelish more power." After the description, he raised his torso and took off his black, square-shaped ring from his hand, and with both hands offered it in front of Mr. Azik. Wiz, you low-key gotta keep reading until peak ends? Yeah, I know. Peak's never gonna end, dude. This is it. Silently, the ring seemed to be dragged by countless spirits as it flew up and landed in Azik's palm. Azik studied it for a few seconds before wearing it on his left index finger. Suddenly, a terrifying and profound feeling was emanated from his body. The zombies and skeletons, who were either naked or wearing rotten leather armor, genuflected, bowing their head, as though they only dared to look at his boots. Ooh. How has Azik somehow become more terrifying? What the fuck is happening here? The flying wraiths and shadows landed on the deck and clung close to it. None of them dared to float in midair. The other pirates aboard the ship plopped to their knees, plastering their faces to the deck. Klein stood to his side, watching Azik's back and the suddenly empty scene, but he didn't dare say a word. Azik took 2 steps forward and came to Admiral Hell's side. He then turned his body and faced Klein and said to Ludwell, "You shall be his marionette for a year!" Let's go! Dude, his mere existence gave Klein a sequence 5 marionette. He doesn't even have to... When the time is up, you can return to the spirit world. Azik said those words without any inflection. It was as though he wasn't determining Admiral Hell's life and death or future. Perhaps to him, this was a trivial matter that didn't need to care for his thoughts and feelings of the person being ordered. My god, dude. Oh my god. Azik is like, your life means fucking nothing to me. You will serve him because it is convenient. I do not care what it costs you. After that, I shall permit you entry into my holy realm. Like, what the fuck? Is this Mr. Azik, the history teacher? What? Oh my god. That's amazing. Yes, Honorable Death Council. What's he gonna do? Refuse? This is not an offer, brother. This is a command. Just as he said that, the ghastly white, dark green, and mysterious symbols that were accentuated meshed together, forming an illusory bronze door. Imagine 4th Epoch. He's like, dude. Oh my god. Wait. Okay, I have a clip for this. Hold on. Can I find it? Can I find it? Okay, so like Jon Snow becomes the Lord Commander of the men in what the fuck are they called? Holy fuck, Lord Commander of the Night Watch. Yes, thank you. Okay, and so he orders Janos Slint. He's like, hey, where the fuck is it? Yes. He's like, Janos, you're gonna go there, and he's like. It's a ruin. I'm not going there. Fuck that.
Restore it as best you can. First build a yard and spare 10 I was charged with the defense of King's Landing when you were soiling your swaddling clothes. Keep your ruin.
And so he keeps talking back to him until John is like, take him outside, and he's like.
If you have any last words, my lord. Now's the time.
I was wrong. You're the Lord Commander. We all serve you. I'm sorry, not only for this, for all I've done and said.
Hey, how quickly he turns in like 3 minutes. He's like, keep your ruin, boy. I led the fucking gold cloaks of the and he's like, yeah, I'm sorry for all I've said. What a bitch. Get fucked, loser. Oh, that was amazing. Love that. Jesus Christ, how many fucking tabs do I have open? Jesus. Sorry, I have so many tabs open. Give me a second. No wonder my RAM is always crying. Holy fuck, I'm a horrible person. I have like 800 tabs open. I need 2 tabs right now. And I have like 87 tabs open. This is insane. I don't know. I have them open in so many different places. I don't even know the number. Zaza, how's it going, man? I'm not saying Mr. Azik can't be trusted, but he is way too high and immortal to be the close. Nah, I don't. Nah, I trust him, man. Mr. Azik wouldn't do anything to us. Just as he said that, the ghastly white and dark green mysterious symbols were accentuated. They meshed together, forming an illusory bronze door. The door rapidly contracted and was imprinted inside Admiral Hell's forehead. Did he just make like a contract in his head or something? Like to say that like you can't break this or something? Klein was surprised and puzzled. Only when Azik nodded and pointed to Admiral Hell did he blankly step forward, entering the 10-meter radius and began controlling his spirit body threads. The Admiral almost leapt up a few times to flail his arms, but none of that happened. Soon his thoughts turned sluggish as he subconsciously resisted. After a while, Admiral Hell stood up once again, bowing his head and retreating to Klein's side. Wait, Admiral Hell is a sequence 5 of the Death Pathway, right? Is that right? Gift wrap marionette. It's actually this is like this is more than I expected, which is because I have such high expectations of Azik, and he gifts him a sequence 5. He's like, my gift to you, sequence 5 gatekeeper. So he can go into his spirit, he can go into a thing realm, right? Or he can become a spirit body? Is that right? Late birthday gift. Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm sorry, my boy. I forgot about your birthday. I was a little preoccupied at the time. For that, I give you this. Azik watched the entire process in silence before slowly saying, in the Death Pathway, high-level Beyonders have extremely suppressive powers over low-level Beyonders. He has a mini underworld in his body where he can store... Oh, I see, okay. I can tell. Back when I threw your copper whistle, even the Sequence 5 Admiral Hell failed to control his undead creatures. Klein nodded gently, indicating that he had taken note of it. Immediately after, a zombie which had rotted in several areas rose up, carrying an azure blue cufflink as it came before Klein. It was the cufflink he had lost. Although it's useless for the current me, I've finally gotten it back. As Klein was lost in poignancy, he reached out to retrieve the item that belonged to him. Then he saw Mr. Azik walk back and grab his shoulder. He then hurriedly extended his arms to grab onto the shoulders of his marionettes, Enzo and Ludwell. Venita's OST when Azik talks about a voice. Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Kami. I didn't even know you were here, man. How you doing? Should have gotten a sequence 4? I mean, can Klein even control a sequence 4 marionette right now? Is that even possible? All the colors saturated, brightened, and overlapped. Klein instinctively asked, Mr. Azik, where do we go next? Berserk Sea, Azik replied. Oh, they're going to find the remnants of death. Oh shit, doing my workout? Nice. It is possible, but he will go mad. So, no, basically. I wonder what a bizarre sorcerer's underbreathing tube is like. Oh, it's going to be like a tube that extends out, and it's like... sorry, I was... Okay, no, never mind. I was going to make an off-color joke. We're fine. Never mind. Never mind. It's fine. He paused for a moment, then added, give me the copper whistle. Alright. Klein made Enzo take out the iron cigar case and retrieve the whistle. My intuition tells me that this ring left behind by death, together with this whistle and myself, should allow us to find the spot where death perished back then. Klein can control sequence 4 marionettes, but making one is not easy, impossible. Oh, okay, so theoretically he can control one. Okay. Or, well, I don't know. Dr. Z said he will lose control, so I don't know. Klein subconsciously said, but my dream tells me that it's very dangerous. Perhaps we should first find the Numinous Episcopate members who are implementing the Artificial Death Project. We can make the decisions after receiving more detailed information from them. A voice there is calling out to me. The plot thickens! Vanitas, 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 where are we? Do. A voice there is calling out to me. Klein turned his head to look at Mr. Azik. He saw that this man with soft facial features and weathered eyes had his facial contours furrowed. He no longer had that slight curve to his lips. Oh, he's no longer smiling. Oh, we're in trouble now. Dude, if Mr. Azik takes his smile off, we're cooked. Colors quickly flashed through Azik's eyes Klein's eyes as Azik brought them to the pitch-black storm that enveloped the sea. At this moment, the dark square ring in the exquisite ancient brass whistle shimmered slightly, illuminating Azik's face. This death consul, who had lived through the fourth epoch, closed his eyes as he silently listened to a shout that came from an unknown location. Then he suddenly clenched his right hand. All the scenery from the nearby spirit world was imploding, turning into a slowly spinning black vortex whose borders couldn't be seen. This vortex suddenly burgeoned, devouring Azik, Klein, and the marionettes. Klein sensed a sudden, intense sense of dizziness as he nearly vomited. He recovered after an unknown period of time, realizing that he was inside a dark, cold mausoleum. Around him were open coffins, and inside them were rotting corpses with white feathers on their backs. Although I warned Mr. Azik, we still ended up here. Klein was taken aback for a second as he suddenly felt a deep sense of helplessness. He turned his head to look at the side and saw Mr. Azik standing near him. He was staring intently at the flight of stairs that led deep into the mausoleum. Oh. The thing hiding in there might very well be artificial death, Klein couldn't help but warn. My slumber from before has allowed me to recall many things. I saw myself seated on a bone throne, and I saw beyonders and ordinary people lying dead in front of the throne. They hadn't done anything wrong, but they died suddenly at the same time. One by one, they got up, turning into ghastly, undead creatures. Undead creatures that pledged allegiance to me, and I was just coldly watching them without any emotional changes. I allowed the disaster to spread through the village and the city. Mr. Azik. This made me feel unlike myself. However, I know very well that this might be the real me. Azik recalling his war crimes? Listen, all I'm gonna say is I have faith in Mr. Azik, okay? Those people probably deserved it. They were probably dicks. As you can see, I would very handily justify war crimes if I liked the person. As the death consul from the fourth epoch's Balam Empire, Klein's lips quivered. Azik rubbed his temples and continued, I sense myself returning to that past. Don't ask Mr. Azik what he was doing during the Balkan Wars. Hey, what happened during the Balkan Wars stays during the Balkan Wars, okay? We don't talk about them. Without waiting for Klein's reply, Azik, who was staring intently into the mausoleum, continued. I still remember my resurrection after my first death. I was lying in a pale white coffin and I staggered to my feet. Feeling horrified, I had no idea what was happening. Nor did I know where I was. Blaze, how's it going, man? Before the clergyman collected my corpse for purification, I escaped, stumbling along the way like a wandering ghost. I crossed grasslands, villagers, and cities. I couldn't recall who I was or where I came from. No matter where I went, I would hear all kinds of sobbing. When I watched priests presiding over mass burials, I felt sorrow in every corner. Later, I happened to rescue a noble lady and entered her manor. She was a bright and lovely girl, and I was like a feral beast from a jungle. I was sensitive, suspicious, self-abased, afraid, and I often showed a cold, indifferent, cruel side that didn't match the morality of a human. Well, you're not a human, Mr. Azik, you're an angel, probably, or a saint at the very least. Although I will say, saint is basically a human. It's like a quasi-human. As soon as we enter angel, that becomes something completely different. I don't know if that's a fair description, but like that's my feeling, okay? We secretly got together. Ooh. Beauty and the Beast sort of thing. She was very worried that her father wouldn't agree to the marriage to a former tramp and present servant. Seeing her melancholic smile, I had the feeling of blood gushing through me for the first time. I rashly told her that I was leaving, but I would return with an aristocratic title and a bridal garland. She can fix him. I joined the army, became a knight, and raised a 3-meter lance and charged at the enemies. Thanks to the chaos of the Fourth Epoch's wake in the northern continent, I became a baron, and obtained a fief I could call my own. I abided by my promise, and with the king's conferment letter, family emblem, and a knight's medal ribbon, and my self-made garland, I married my bride. What a go! What a go! He locked in and got his girl. Upon seeing this, Azik's expression turned gentle, as though he was reminiscing. Klein's heart stirred from hearing this, as though he had met the familiar Mr. Azik again. What happened next? Later, we built a castle on our fief. We had children. A boy. He grew up Oh, this is the Baron we saw in... This is the Baron he was a couple thousand years or a couple hundred years ago or whatever, in Volume 1. Baron something, I can't remember what his title was, but he had the title Baron something. He had I can't remember his name. Yes. Okay. Oh, yes. The headstone. Yeah. Baron Lamed. Yes. Thank you, Kami. We had children. A boy. He grew up very quickly, and I could often tell that he would grow up to be tall and stout. He enjoyed combat and often running around while dragging a broadsword, claiming that he wanted to be a knight. Well, in the end, at least based on his armor, I think he became a knight. Although it was just a child's talk that wouldn't last, I thought. However, even if he broke his leg or hurt his head, he didn't abandon his training. He thought that I wouldn't be able to see him if he hid in his room grimacing while tending to his wounds. He underestimated his father. All the spirits in the fief were under my service. Year after year passed. I recovered more and more of my memories. My wife grumbled that the castle was too cold and dark, and that she wished to go somewhere with sunlight and warmth. I satisfied her request, but it was only much later that I realized that it wasn't because she disliked staying in the castle, but she was afraid of the changes happening to me. She was afraid of the colder me who was becoming a stranger. He thought she was referring to the castle being cold and dark. He didn't realize that she was talking about him becoming cold and dark. She never told me these things, spending time with me like always. We spent beautiful time by the seaside in the south, and we even thought of having a second child, but unfortunately we didn't succeed. It was only when I sensed that my death was approaching that I returned to my fief, to my castle. My son, that boy who told me he wished to backland to become an attendant of viscounts or earls, and become his journey to knighthood. I asked him why he had made such a choice when he was only around 10. He told me that I was his idol and role model. No wonder when Azik saw his fucking skull being gone, he was like, I don't care. He's like, I don't know who did this, but I will kill him. Fuck, dude. Oh my god. Bro, anyone would do the same. You walk into your child, and like, you may not remember those memories of your child, but I feel like the feeling they invoke in you would be like central to your being. And he walked in and he was like, how fucking dare they? Holy shit. That's his baby boy. Fuck Ince, dude. Oh my god. Just tell Mr. Azik where Ince is and just go kill him right now. Fuck him. He wished to become a noble by being a knight like me without the help of his parents. Back then, I had already recovered most of my memories. Faced with that child, I always felt a little awkward, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. But when I heard his answer, I felt indescribable joy, satisfaction, and pride. I knew he was my son, completely different from the children I had in the Balam Empire. Even this, it's like, it's him saying that when he was having kids in the Balam Empire, he was having kids as like as a duty to ensure that like the death lineage or whatever was passed on. But now, this child was his, really his. Like, he spent time playing with him, watching him grow. Whereas in the past, he was just having kids for the sake of it. And now, like, this was his kid. Klein knew that Mr. Azik was talking about his identity as Baron Lamed I, and the child who had made him proud and satisfied had been poisoned to death in middle age. He was nailed in a coffin and even had his skull taken away by Insongwil. Oh, Insongwil, we're gonna do fucking bad stuff to you, man. Holy fuck. Oh. Geneva Conventions? We call them suggestions, goddammit. I died, once again, and woke up in a groggy manner. I instinctively left my fief and followed my prior arrangements to wander elsewhere. Every incarnation, I had a different life in the beginning. At times, I met with the sweetest love. At other times, I would receive the most adorable daughter. The love, helplessness, and satisfaction left me taken aback, puzzled, and stumped over and over as I gradually recovered my memories. There was a time where I once had a filial son. What is filial? I don't actually know this. Off or due to a son and daughter. What? Good kid? Interesting. Okay. I've never heard it. Okay. I've never heard that word, so I don't know. I gave my parents pride, a beautiful life, adorable grandsons and granddaughters. But when I awoke and found myself, I recalled that in my previous incarnation, I had coldly watched their real son die in the battlefield and seized his identity. Oh, that is horrifying. Mr. Azik. Cuttlefish! Damn you! You can't even let me have one fucking character without making him all fucked. Don't get me wrong, I don't care. I love Mr. Azik all the same. That child was probably a dick anyway. I told you, I will justify any kind of crimes for Mr. Azik. I do not care. On the other hand, I felt pain and guilt, and on one hand, I felt as if it was nothing, something trivial. My inner heart seemed to dissociate the two. Back then, I had a mask that allowed me to change into anyone, but I lost it after awakening. This might have been something I deliberately lost. Klein recalled Mr. Azik's mention of a daughter who liked getting sweets from him. and after some deliberation he asked, I believe that it isn't a dissociation, but that you're fighting against madness. After losing your memories, you restart your life and are always calm, kind, and warm. At your present state, you probably recognize it even clearly. This might very well be the true you, your essence, and as a death console, you suffer the effects of a Beyonder's characteristics' latent inclination towards losing control. You suffer the influence brought about by high-level death pathway Beyonders. I heard that he had already gone mad after the War of the Four Emperors. Waze is becoming more like Leonard for Azik. I don't even know what that means. What if... Would you try to justify that? You know what, Milos? I was probably sending off the wrong signals, okay? Klein's words weren't much without evidence, because he only knew of a few of Azik's incarnations. Baron Lamed, the father who made a swing for his daughter, the filial child, and the warm and friendly history teacher. His goal was to provide a guess, a possibility to help Mr. Azik resist the death console personality that came with his memories. It allowed him to introspect his past incarnations and use this to achieve a particular compromise. As he spoke, he suddenly had an idea. Without waiting for Azik to finish digesting what he had said, he said, Mr. Azik, do you know about an anchor? To secure themselves, the deities and angels use anchors to prevent the characteristics' inclination towards losing control and madness? Yes. Perhaps your repeated memory loss to restart your new lives is the anchor you use to resist madness and the loss of control. Do not abandon them. Do not forget them. That is you. After saying that, Klein added inwardly. But, so wait, is Klein insinuating that an angel or a deity gets to choose their own anchor? Because for Roselle, it was the love of other people. It was the admiration, the adoration that he received from the populace. For Azik, Klein is suggesting that it can be reincarnation or restart or whatever. After an unknown period of time, he sighed. This may be an explanation. At least it lessens the intensity of my mental dissociations and conflicts. However, since I've already come this far, I should still head inside to see what hides here. Why is it summoning me? And what is causing me to die and revive over and over, losing my memories, only to find them again? This has troubled me for more than 1,000 years. It has troubled every incarnation I have. I believe I can receive an answer today. Mr. Azik, become God Death. Like the reboot Will does? Oh, I see, okay. The look in his eyes turned clear as his voice turned gentle, but there was an indescribable firmness to it. Klein wanted to stop him, but he knew he couldn't. Azik pressed down on his hat. Without turning his head, he said with a gentle smile, "Remember to close your eyes." With that said, he walked forward, following the flight of stairs as he slowly went into the depths of the mausoleum. The wafting black fog didn't produce any more panting sounds. It slowly scattered into its surroundings, accentuating the illusory objects coiled at the bottom. It was a massive feathered serpent that seemed to occupy the island. If Mr. Azik dies, I'm gonna stop reading this fucking book. I'm not even kidding. 1,000 chapters in, I'll quit. I don't care. I'm out of my fucking mind. I'll do it. I don't care. Azik dies, it's done. It was a massive feathered serpent that seemed to occupy the island. It had a huge, dark green, nearly black scales. Amidst the gaps that were feathers covered in yellow oily stains. On every feather, there were thin, illusory black tubes. The exaggerated feathered serpents were both illusory and real. Its actual form was hardly describable. It seemed to be a combination of things incomprehensible to humans. Its eye sockets were burning with pale white flames. Its face was that of a human. Would you stop reading if Azik dies? Blaze, Blaze, I will sacrifice force for Azik to live. Do you understand? I don't give a fuck about her. The face had bronze skin and soft facial features. It was another Azik Eggers. What in the mindfuck did you just have me read? Why is there a second Azik? What are you guys having me read? What is this? Upon seeing this coiling feathered serpent deep inside the black fog and the face atop the towering figure, Azik was taken aback. Following that, the corners of his forehead throbbed as though he'd been struck by at the temple. Amidst the excruciating pain, several incontagious scenes flashed in his mind. It was a feathered serpent with a face identical to his, even to the smallest detail. Above a silent land, there were countless corpses. Floating in midair, there were clouds stacked from bones that came from different species. Black tentacles drilled out from the ground, with eyes that resembled dead fish at the tip of each tentacle. What the fuck is happening here? A transparent spirit body was forcibly pulled out of his body. After these flashing scenes, a pair of flaming white eyes that were on the brink of extinguishing glanced over. A white, feather stained with yellow oil fluttered down, splitting Azik's spirit body in two. I'm gonna assume what that was Death dying or something, and as Death was dying, it split Azik into two? Maybe? One of the parts suddenly flew up and plunged inside the cloud of bones, and the remaining part fused with a golden accessory that had appeared out of thin air. Amidst the pale white flames, it materialized back into a body of flesh and blood. This scene was like a thunder god's hammer striking down in Azik's mind over and over, making the pain hardly bearable. He raised his hand to his head as his knees gradually buckled as he knelt on the staircase. He had finally recalled everything that had happened, and he understood the reason he was constantly dying and reviving, and losing his memories, having to recover them. His soul wasn't complete. The plot thickens! Similarly, Azik also understood why the feathered serpent, suppressing the entire space in the black fog, had a face identical to him. It was him. That was the other Azik Eggers. All of this was a concealed attempt before Death's fall. If stitching souls existed, there was naturally the splitting of souls. At that moment, the crazy, powerful Death had foreseen his outcome. Unwilling to die so simply, he secretly split the soul of his son, the Balaam Empire's Death Console. He took half of it away and used another item as a replacement, stitching it together with Azik's soul. It was a mystery if it was a deliberate arrangement of Death, or if it was an unintended consequence of the Numinous Episcopate's artificial death project. That half-soul had been taken away from the artificial death, had fused with the target of the artificial death project. The half-soul that had been taken away from artificial death had fused with the target of the artificial death project, the uniqueness of the death pathway. Are we in the chaos epoch right now? What the fuck is happening? Okay. Okay. Let me try to talk my way through this. I'll ask the questions I have. Tell me if you guys can tell me right now or you can't. Okay, either way, I don't care. So, Death was about to die. He reached out to his son and split his soul. Azik kept half his soul, returned to his body. The other half returned above the clouds or some bullshit. Okay, I don't fucking know. But and then when the Numinous Episcopate, we can't tell you anything. Okay, well, fuck me, I guess. And then the Numinous Episcopate, when they were trying to do the Artificial Death Project, they were presumably trying to summon death or some bullshit. And they, instead of death, they got half of Azik's soul, and it combined with the uniqueness of the death pathway. Okay. It made the latter gain certain innate abilities as it began influencing high sequence beyonders of the Corpse Collector pathway who had failed their advancement. Azik. As for the other half, although there was a replacement that prevented it from being incomplete, the incomplete soul resulted in repeated deaths and resurrection, like the Sequence 4's Undying. Endured the golden accessory inside his body, and the calling from the other half of the soul, Azik, who would start a brand new life every incarnation, would gradually recover his memories with the passage of time. Half of Azik's soul merged with the uniqueness for death to revive in it later. The other half merged with what the Artificial Death Project became. So Azik, the Azik we know, is half his soul and the uniqueness? That can't be. Death didn't want to die, took half his son's soul, because of bloodline, to resurrect using it, and the death's uniqueness. The two merged because of artificial death. Okay, let me just keep... Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Let me just keep reading. We'll sort this out later. Okay, fuck it. Stop. No, stop. Okay. Camus spreading misinfo? Yeah, love that. No, just half the artificial death is the other half and the uniqueness of death. I don't know. Just, okay, stop it. Okay, stop it. We're gonna stop messaging about that right now. So Azik is half Azik and half artificial death. Is half Azik and uniqueness. Stop. Okay, stop. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. Fuck you guys. In the past, artificial death had attempted to find the reason, but due to the natural recovery of his memories, he often came close to death once more. He wasn't able to perform any in-depth investigations. Furthermore, the Numinous Episcopate's Artificial Death Project had been raised in the past few centuries. It was only in recent times that they gained any level of success. That was the reason he never found the answer. At some point in time, Azik's hand had left his head. They were placed on the staircase as he produced a voice that wasn't human. Drops of sweat dripped down his forehead and hit the stone steps in front of him. They were spread out into layers of pale yellow oil, growing out into dense white feathers. At that moment, he felt the other half of his soul calling out, as well as its desire. The two selves, which had been separated for more than 1,000 years, were eager to fuse again. To be whole again. No, Azik muttered in pain, unwilling to raise his head or stretch out his hand. He had seen it clearly. The him as a feathered serpent had no reason. It was filled with coldness and madness. If he became one with it again, he would be immediately restored to his state as a death consul from before. He might even become a fake death who only had godhood and no humanity. He would forget everything, forgetting everyone he once cherished. No. Azik squeezed out the same word again. Irresistibly, he raised his neck bit by bit as a pitch black and gloomy scale appeared. At his forehead, something that took a life of its own protruded out. His forehead cracked as a bloody opening appeared. A golden sliver of light emanated out of nothingness, taking form inside the flesh and blood. This ancient accessory made of gold was in the shape of a tall, slender bird. Pale white flames emanated around it in the form of feathers. Inside its bronze eyes, there were shimmering layers of light that separated, forming a mysterious and illusory door. The moment it appeared, Azik let out a painful cry. He raised his head completely as the two wisps of pale white flames burst at his eyes. What the fuck is going on? Deep inside the black fog, the illusory and real feathered serpent had straightened its body. It reached out its head as the two identical faces of the different sizes looked at each other in silence. As the four pale flames leapt out, bit by bit, Azik, whose hands were on the ground, struggled to stand up. Slowly, he walked to the feathered serpent known as the Artificial Death. As he approached, the entire mausoleum began shaking. The surroundings turned transparent, reflecting a world of countless skeletons and shadows. Death tore his soul into two. One half went to the uniqueness, which became Artificial Death. The other half went to a handcrafted artifact. The pale... Oh, I see. Okay. Bloody arms, bluish black vines with baby faces and slimy tentacles with dead fish eyes, or two rows of sharp teeth, tore through the boundary between reality and illusory, reaching into the mausoleum. However, they clung straight to the ground without daring to move. Next chapter's peak, fuck yeah. East Balam, Kolain City. Daly, who was rushing to her target's location, stopped and held her head. "What's wrong?" Celeste asked. I hear voices. I sense the calling that stems from an unknown place. I wish to kneel to the ground. "Can the rest of you hear it?" Celeste asked. Just as Leonard shook his head, he heard the aged voice in his head. "Look towards the Berserk Sea." Leonard subconsciously turned his head and looked in the direction of the harbor, towards the distant Berserk Sea. He saw a swath of pure darkness. There weren't any gales, massive waves, dark clouds, lightning, torrential rain, or sunlight. Oh, give me one second. Fuck. Okay, hold on. Okay, it's fine. Let's go. Although Klein had his eyes closed, his outstanding spiritual perception allowed him to sense the surroundings. When he heard the painful mutters and shouts that sounded like Mr. Azik, he could sense seemingly corporeal silence and the aura of death. What's happening? Although the artificial death inside the mausoleum didn't attack Mr. Azik, it has infected him? Azik's mind raced as he was so worried. His spiritual perception told him what was about to happen was not something he wanted to see. However, he couldn't figure out what he could do. He didn't even dare to open his eyes to look at Mr. Azik's present state. This wasn't a problem that could be solved with mere courage. It was a difference in the natural order of life, an unbridgeable gap. Suddenly, Klein had a strong feeling of helplessness. He didn't wish to give up as he tried hard to think of whatever he could. Creeping hunger? No, it won't be of any use. Death knell? It's even worse. Grizel travel? I didn't bring it. Nor did I bring the Black Emperor, or the Tyrant card. The Fate Siphon Charm. Yes, the Fate Siphon Charm. Klein was delighted as he had a plan. His plan was to use the Fate Siphon Charm to swap the fate of Mr. Azik with the Artificial Death. That might work. Or he ends up getting Mr. Azik killed. I don't know. At the very least, I have a chance of reviving As for Mr. Azik, the deaths he suffered wouldn't be from the damage inflicted. Who knows if he can awaken again? Klein didn't consider if the Fate Siphon charm was effective on Mr. Azik in artificial death. He only wished to give it a try. He raised his right hand and reached into his pocket. Then there was a delay in his actions. His arm froze. He froze for a moment as though he was petrified. Klein's lips quivered as his expression distorted. Following that, he swung his right arm and reached into his palm into his pocket and pulled it out. Gripped it tightly in his palm was a black crystal card-like charm. Is Klein just getting petrified from the sheer aura, or is there something affecting him? However, his eyes... At the same time, Azik was approaching the towering, illusory feathered serpent. His footsteps sped up, as though he was returning to his throne. However, his eyes, which had pale white flames, were filled with pain. His expression was warped. "No," Azik muttered once again. Whatever his skin was exposed, his feathers stained with yellow oil grew out from the gaps of pitch-black scales. The intense shouting and desire made him lose control of himself. He was about to soar into the sky and leap towards the gigantic feathered serpent. Pale white flames spread out from the bird-shaped accessory at the forehead, flowing towards the rest of his body. Klein's spiritual intuition was sending warnings as he hurriedly said a single word: Fate. Just as he was about to use the charm, his surroundings quietened. There was no longer a sound. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Why am I so scared? A slender, fair female palm appeared out of nowhere and pressed on the golden bird-shaped accessory on Azik's forehead. A figure then materialized between Azik and the towering feathered serpent, stopping the two. Who the fuck can stop Azik in his tracks and the feathered serpent? She was like, who the fuck is this? Is this 017? Is this 017? With the help of this external force, Azik finally held back that desire and the irresistible calling to fuse the two. The pale white flames in his eyes reflected the floating figure in midair. Her face was deadpan, and her eyes were deep, dark, devoid of spirituality. It was a beautiful lady wearing an ancient robe and a black hood. 017? Who is this? Fuck. Holy shit. Alright guys, we're gonna end stream there. No, sorry, I'm not that mean. I wouldn't do that. Okay. The strange turn of events inside the mausoleum left Klein, who had his eyes closed and his spirituality converged, completely unaware of what was happening. He had no idea if it was something good or bad. Therefore, even though he had already chanted the activation incantation, he still didn't dare use the charm. He was afraid that it would make things worse. Seconds passed as Klein felt the passage of time was especially slow. He felt as though an entire century had passed. Finally, he heard Mr. Azik speak. "It's you." Following that, the unperturbed voice sounded. "You have 3 choices. First, continue proceeding forward to seek completeness. Allow Salinger to revive within your body." Is Salinger the name of death? The second is to have me help you extract that half soul, allowing you to take it with you. You will think of a way to stitch it back together, but this will transform you back to your original form. You will stop dying and reviving, but it will not be the present you. Your past incarnations will truly recede into being dreams. Third, to give up everything and directly leave. You will forever be stuck at your level. You will have no way of advancing further. You will die over and over, waking up with no memories and repeatedly searching for your past experiences. Who the fuck is this that's giving such a choice? She's like, listen, I can revive death. I can give you your soul back, or I can have you leave. Who the fuck? Is this the Evernight goddess? Maybe this is Evernight. But no, why would Evernight be wanting to help him? That doesn't make any sense. No, give me the answer. I won't read anymore. I'm just kidding. Okay, now let's start. Okay. Klein was taken aback by what he heard. He never expected that there was a person in the depths of the mausoleum. Furthermore, she appeared to have absolute authority. She provided the former death consul, Azik, different choices. That is the artificial death that's hiding in the black fog? No, he originally didn't have any intelligence. It's been so long, and it's not like he's tried communicating. Extract half the soul and think of a way to stitch it together. What does that mean? Azik's soul wasn't whole to begin with? Extract it from where? The lady's speaking like she could do something that Azik can't. Who's Salinger? Why would he be revived in Azik's body? He is death that caused the Pale disaster? Azik's dad or grandfather? He foresaw his death and left a seed in Azik's body to revive? The first choice is definitely something to eliminate without any thought. The second and third each have their own problems. The former makes him not his current self. He will become unfamiliar. The latter is to suffer an undying curse for eternity, never to receive salvation. If he's confident, truly treating all his past incarnations as an anchor, the second choice can be considered. It will allow for reconciliation and a compromise. But this involves the splitting of half a soul into half. It's impossible to guess what developments will happen to the other half of the soul, which didn't experience those incarnations. The anchor might not be able to solve it. Ideas flashed through Klein's mind. He was puzzled, curious, stumped, and confused. He was so close, yet so far. It was Azik's life. It was a future he needed to face. No one could make the choice for him. And whatever Klein needed to say had been said. He stood there, helpless and worried, waiting for Azik to speak again. Azik looked at the beautiful hooded lady in front of him. The pale white eyes in his eyes flickered. The illusory but real towering feathered serpent seemed to have a negative development. It suddenly lashed out its tail, wildly sweeping it around as it lunged its head downwards and opened its mouth, revealing dark red flesh and fangs, tainted with yellow oil stains. He stuck out its tongue in a bid to devour Azik. That's what it says, Dr. Z. I'm not reading it wrong. What, do you think I'm reading it wrong? I'll show you. What, do you think I won't stop just to vindicate myself? I will, I don't give a fuck. The pale white eyes in his eyes flickered. What do you want from me? However, all of its attempts failed to be effective. It seemed to live in another world. Amidst the unsettling calm, Azik raised his hand, rubbed his temples, and said, "I'm accustomed to my present life. I choose the third option." No, Azik, no. No, choose the second one. Have faith. Trust yourself. You can do it. Just as he said that, the hooded lady clenched her fist, gripping the golden bird accessory tightly. She then retracted her arm, pulling out the ancient item from the gap in Azik's forehead. Azik's expression distorted once again, as though he was experiencing indescribable pain. Every drop of his blood, in every piece of his flesh, there was a part of his soul seeping out, mixing together in a translucent soul. No, Kami, he could anchor himself. We have to trust in Mr. Azik. It's the second option. Obviously. No, he wouldn't be gone, Zaza. He could do it. You guys have no faith. Oh, ye of little faith. After all Mr. Azik has done, you think he couldn't do that? You think that's his limit? This soul appeared complete, but it was filled with discordant and disharmonious feelings. It was because it was half gold in color, the same all the way from brows, eyebrows to torso and 4 limbs. It had an ancient, simplistic beauty, and the golden sunbird-shaped accessory was extracted. Azik's translucent soul began disintegrating inch by inch, as though it was being skinned alive. His throat let out an inhuman gasping sound once again, causing Klein's head to spin and ache, as though it was a needle that had stabbed into his brain and was stirred wildly. In seconds, Azik's spirit body split in two. Half of it transformed into a golden stream that infused the bird-shaped accessory, while the other half returned to his body, fusing with his flesh and blood. The pale white flame in Azik's eyes were extinguished, as the white feathers and pitch-black scales on his body receded. His warped expression eased. "Thank you for your help," he bowed at the beautiful hooded lady. He turned around and floated up to the staircase, coming to Klein's side. "Azik," said with an exhausted smile, "you can open your eyes." I'm asking, okay, the 3 options that Azik has. Option 1, he fuses with the fucking feathered serpent. Option 2, he takes his complete soul and becomes the death console, and the current him loses himself. Or 3, he stays as he is right now. Which would you have Azik choose? For me, it's easy. I would have him choose the second option. Klein hurriedly opened his eyes and sized up Azik. Realizing that there weren't any signs of madness or loss of control, he was relieved. He cast his gaze into the mausoleum. "Who was that?" Klein couldn't help but ask. "Even if I told you, you wouldn't be able to hear it unless she wants to let you know." Was that fucking Evernight? I think that was Evernight. Who is that? I think that was Evernight. Maybe I'm crazy, but like, who else would be willing to call death by the name? That has to be a fucking god, right? Even though it's a dead god, yes. But like, I don't think there's a lot of people that'd be willing to do that, you know? The colors passed around them saturated and stacked on top of each other. The 2 men and the 2 marionettes passed through the spirit world and returned to Klein's inn. With a gentle smile, Azik said, "I'll need to sleep for an unknown period of time to recover. If you have any questions, seek out the spirit world 7 Lights. You should already know how to." "Mr. Azik, are you alright?" Klein asked. "How can he be fine without having half his soul forever?" It's no big deal. I'll just maintain my current state, allowing me to foresee my death and arrange everything. I'll sever ties with my original life and forget everything and reawaken in a bid to search for my past. Like before, at least you're there, someone who knows a lot about my past. If I were to forget again, I should be able to recall a lot when I get your letter. Sleep isn't a bad thing either. At least I'll have my dreams. In my dreams, I never left, accompanying her while taking in the sun and guiding that stubborn son of mine to use the broadsword. I'll also make him swing for that little kid who loves to wheedle. See, you think this was a better option? He remembers his family only to forget them again? You think this is better? You guys are out of your fucking mind. I will argue with you guys about this to the death forever. Having said that, Azik threw the copper whistle and said, "Remember to write to me, but I will not reply before I awaken." Just as Klein reached out to receive the copper whistle, Azik vanished from the room. After blankly watching the scene, Klein let out a sigh. The H in Lord of the Mysteries means happiness. Nagito, we'll think about that in a little bit, okay? We'll think about that in a bit. To go anywhere from Colane City by land, one needs to follow the spiraling path that led upwards. After passing through the different streets, one would arrive at the peak of the city. Then one had to descend the mountain and enter the plain. At this moment, the Red Gloves team that Soest led was standing on the square at the peak, looking down at the Berserk Sea. Daly, who had been pressing her forehead this entire time, lowered her head and said, "Everything's back to normal now. There's no more problems." "Normal?" Leonard asked. "Perhaps it's intermittent?" Soest has hesitantly raised a theory. Daly was about to answer when her spiritual perception was triggered again. Once again, they looked towards the Berserk Sea. In the swath of pure black, one bright star after another lit up. Star? It's the Evernight goddess, for sure. It was the Evernight goddess. Backland, beneath St. Samuel Cathedral. Archbishop Anthony Stevenson received an emergency telegram from the sea. Gehrman has appeared, boarding the Black Tulip with another person. He has made Ludwell into a marionette and left with the person Ludwell addressed as Death Console. Gehrman. Death Console. St. Anthony repeated these two names. His bounty is going to be like 100,000. Death Console? Are you insane? Wiz, do you remember when Azik faced Inns, he said that he was undying? Now you know why this volume is named Undying. Azik chose to live with the Undying Curse forever. That's so depressing, man. He deserved better. He deserved so much better. He leaned back and closed his eyes. Once again, he saw the corresponding information on the sealed artifact. 017. Angel of Concealment. Grade 0, extremely dangerous, of the highest importance and confidentiality. It is not to be inquired, disseminated, described, or spied. Security clearance. Pope. Team A researchers. Archbishop of the Backland Diocese. Note, when the Archbishop is transferred out of the Backland Diocese, his memories will need to be wiped out. The seal is completed via a combination of 129 and 180. This isn't an item. She cannot be used. The sealed artifact first appeared in the Pale Era of the 4th Epoch. Exact year, missing. Date, missing. Location, missing. Based on the information, she has been awakened 5 times. A limited premise is the reason behind its inability to be used. It has been confirmed that she can be used as the goddess's descent vessel. I was right. The Evernight goddess used 017 as a vessel and went there and was like, what the fuck do you want? That's what it was. That's what it was. Okay. So my two guesses were spot on. My two guesses were spot on. The best mommy, the Empress of Misfortune, Evernight Goddess. Yes. Dr. Z's comment. Yeah, I read Dr. Z's comment. Yeah. I said it was 017 and then I said it was the Evernight Goddess. It was both. That counts. Read 918. We can do one more if you guys want me to. Do you guys want me to read to like 918, 919? What do you guys want to do? You guys tell me. Your call. No, previous one? I don't... What the fuck do you mean? What? What do you think would happen if Klein used the Fate Charm? Please answer this question. It's very important. What would happen if Klein used the Fate Charm? Well, I don't know. Because Klein would use the Fate Charm, and then realistically, it would be the... I would assume it because he would swap fates of Azik with the Feathered Spirit, which means the Feathered Spirit would be the one being asked by the Evernight, and she would give him the options, and he would of course choose for him to fuse with him, and then and then Death resurrects. I would assume is that what would happen? I don't know. No one's gonna tell you to stop reading, for fuck's sakes. All right, fine. 918. All right. We can do one or two more. 918, maybe 919. I don't know. Depends on how we feel. Oh, he was switching his own fate with Azik? Oh, I thought he was switching the... Wait, I thought he was switching the feathered serpent with Azik, no? He was switching his own with Azik? I don't think so. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, that's why he would die? Yeah, brother, if you got fused into fucking... If you got fused into a death console soul, trust me, you ain't revsing from that. Klein would have been dead. Or he would have turned into a monster. I don't fucking know. 924, 925. Okay, quick question. Okay. So here's what I was thinking. I know you guys wanted me to... I know someone was asking if I should do a theory crafting stream at night. I was thinking we get to like 918, 919 right now. Then we get to 924, 925 tonight. And then tomorrow morning we end volume 4. How's that? And then like after that we can do a theory crafting stream whenever. I thought that was pretty good. Klein almost merged with the uniqueness of the death pathway? Sure. Because then we can do like 10 chapters tomorrow. That's no problem. Because I think it's 9:34, I think you guys said, right? Because generally morning stream is better because more people are able to tune in. So it's just better that way. I don't want to end the volume at night. Pushkar, look more into the situation, like what happened. Summarize it. Okay. I think it's 9:34, so that way we can end it tomorrow morning. I'll also go to Artwork Channel now. Did I tell you that you're my favorite streamer? I would believe you, Zaza, but you're not a member. Oof. Please give me memberships. I am poor. I need to pay rent. Now, please. Sorry. Yes, okay, we'll finish it tomorrow. All right. Let's go to Artwork. Wait, 9:46 is ending? Wait, I thought it was 9:36. Hold on. No, you're kidding. Wait, I thought it was 9:46. Why, I thought it was 36. No, God, I can't read 20 chapters. Fuck. Oh, I fucked up, didn't I? Oh, I fucked up. Oh, I fucked up. I fucked up bad. Oh, I fucked up so bad. Oh, no. Oh, so cooked. No. Okay. Okay. If I can read at today's pace... Hold on. Okay, hold on. Today, how many chapters did I just read? I read 5 chapters in about an hour. About. Okay, it would be a longer stream. It'd be closer to like a 5-hour stream, but we can probably make that work. Fuck me, dude. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to be in peak condition tomorrow. Jesus Christ. Read more now, read more at night, one more tomorrow. That's actually not a bad idea. You know what? Let's do that. I'm gonna keep going a little bit more today. I'm gonna go to like 9:21 maybe. I don't know. We'll keep going. 9:22 maybe. Keep pushing a little bit more. That way, when I'm done, I'll read more at night. I can maybe get to like 9:30-ish at night. Maybe. I'm pushing it. And then we can do like 15 chapters tomorrow morning. No problem. We can do that. Summarize the situation that happened? Yeah, so no problem. So Klein and Azik went to the mausoleum. In the mausoleum, because of the visions that Klein was having, Azik told him to close his eyes. He was like, listen, you look at this, you're just gonna die. You're a loser, okay? You're weak. So close your eyes. Just stay up here. Azik went down and he realized that his soul was split by ancient death. Okay? Wear your best underwear tomorrow? But I'm gonna soil it, so shouldn't I wear my worst underwear if I'm gonna soil it anyway? Question. You guys tell me. I don't know, okay? No, not yet, Dr. Z. I will take notes after stream, okay? Yeah, Romero, we'll do artwork right now, okay? And then after that was done, and then so Azik went down, realized that when Death was dying, he took half of his son's soul, or Azik's soul, split it in 2. And he took half of the soul and moved it up somewhere, I don't know, like above the clouds or some bullshit it said. And then half of it went back to Azik. I would assume that's why the black tubes were extending out into the sky, because they were extending to Azik's soul up in the sky somewhere. And then that half of the Azik soul, when the Numinous Episcopate were trying to do their whole artificial death bullshit, fused with the uniqueness of the death pathway. That's what that feathered serpent was. That's all I got. And then Azik was being like overpowered by the serpent or whatever. And so the serpent was like bringing him to him because he was theoretically of a higher sequence, because he was probably like a sequence 2 with the uniqueness. So, and like Azik said, the death pathway has has a lot of influence on lower level sequences of the same pathway. So he was influencing him to like come to him, so he was going to eat him or some bullshit to take his soul. And then the Evernight goddess in the body of 017 stopped by, and she was like, not today. I am here. She was like All Might, so to speak. So she stopped them, and she offered Azik a choice, 3 choices. Azik chose option 3, which is basically like, okay, you may leave now. And then, yeah, that's what happened. That's what I got. I don't know. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. By the way, if you're new here, I think we have like 50 people. Thank you so much for everyone for stopping by. If you're new here, consider joining our Discord. Link in the description. We get up to some stuff, and we have really cool artwork. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Holy crap. I ain't gay, but goddamn. Holy shit. That is so cool. Oh my god. Dude, who made this? That is amazing. Does Osad have art of this? That'd be the new fucking background. Holy shit. Klein, you ain't doing shit. Stop aura farming. You ain't doing shit. Do we ever talk to Easy before he finishes Volume 4? No, Nagito. I'm gonna stop by his next stream, and then I'm just gonna. Don't believe so? Oh, okay, no worries. And then I'm gonna spoil him for Sequence 0. I'm gonna spoil him. I think he spoiled me twice or 3 times. I think twice. So we'll say. So I'll spoil him for Sequence 0, and I'll spoil him. What else am I gonna spoil him for? I don't know. We'll think of a second thing to spoil him for. I don't know what, but we'll spoil him for something, you know? It's all good. Jesus. Dude, this is so cool. Man, the artwork is phenomenal. Death console? No, secret ASG. Oh, yes, we'll spoil him for ASG. True. No. Oh my god, no. You know what? I'm gonna... Fuck it. The second one, I'm only gonna hit him with one spoiler. And then I'm just gonna spend the night theory crafting with him. I'm gonna be like, hey, so I think Evernight Goddess is a transmigrator. Let's talk about it. And then I'll spend him, and then I'll make him spend 4 hours just talking about that. And then you guys won't get any reading done. And then I'm just gonna keep eking out our lead even further. This is it. This is it. He's cooked. Oh my god, what the fuck? What spoiler would you spoil about ASG? I don't have any spoilers for ASG, but I would hit him with my ASG theory that ASG is a reincarnation of the original creator, and that he is the one that's in Klein's body. This is so cool, man. Dude, even the fucking, this fucking whatever, having skulls on it is crazy good. Oh, this is so cool. Tell him a battle of gods happened. Oh, I should tell him. I should tell him we meet Zaratul soon. Oh, true. Let's do that. Death. I know he isn't an official member, but should I put him on the thing on screen as an honorary Tarot Club member? I feel like he's done more for the Tarot Club than like Emlyn has. And he's on there. Like I could oh my god, I could put this on here. Oh, I should tell him Amon is in Backland. Oh my god. Bro, can you imagine while I'm joking about spoiling him, Easy pops in and I actually spoil him? What if someone else gets a death card? We don't put him on, okay? Our death will always be Azik. Fuck him. You have to cosplay this? This? I don't know if I can do this. This is very exquisite, but like we'll do something off. We'll do something, okay? Mr. Azik. You chose wrong, my friend. You should have become the death console. You deserve... Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's horrifying. Get a real human skull? I can steal it. I can borrow it from my high school. I'm friends with the biology teacher. I'm sure she'd let me borrow it for a day. What if the death card goes to Azik's child? Azik's child is dead. Oh, you can very almost see all of OSAT arts. There's 2 more spoilery ones. Ooh. Damn. His son and daughter? Wife and son? I will ask you if you made the right choice after you finish the novel. Sounds good, Samo. How do you know? Maybe all of them? Maybe some of them are demigods? What are we asking about? Bro, we saw God come down. We saw a god for the first time actually descend. Like the true creator almost descended twice. Little shit.
Azik Eggers was a sequence.
That's a god damn this fucking god damn that pronunciation just killed me. Just hurt my soul a little bit.
Angel in the 4th epic. He is the son of death.
He is a sequence too. Okay, I'm not. I don't technically know that. I'm not gonna. Whatever. I don't really give a fuck. But okay, he is a sequence 2 angel. Okay, based.
Salinger, and used to be the emperor of the Balam Empire. At the last moment before dying, his father, Death Salinger, pulled Azik's soul out of his body and divided it into 2 halves. The first half was fused with the uniqueness of the death pathway and became the main subject of the artificial death plan. The second half of Azik's soul was fused with a golden bird-shaped ornament and returned to Azik's body. Due to the fact that Azik's soul isn't complete, he has been repeatedly dying and resurrecting while losing his memories every 60 years. When 2 parts of Azik's soul come together again, death will revive from Azik's body.
My eternal goat. I don't care. I don't care. Let it get copyrighted. I don't give a fuck. Totally worth it. Oh my god. I've seen this artwork before, but my god, it's so beautiful. My god, it's so beautiful. I don't know who drew this, but god, you deserve some kind of fucking medal, dude. Holy fuck. Oh, that was so good. Oh, that was so good. All right, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. Read my comment. What did you say? What do you mean God came down for the first time? Didn't she descend 2 times before and meet Klein both times? She even smiled at Klein? But I thought that was just the artifact being used. What do you mean? I thought that was just the artifact being used. 45 votes? Bro, everyone's got a... Oh, it can't... Oh, it literally... Oh, so the only time... So if it's getting used, it's literally Evernight in there. Oh, I see. I see. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I thought it could... So wait, she was the one that sent him to Foggy Town? She was the one that sent her, sent Klein. Oh! Oh. Oh, shit. Maybe. So I feel like the smile proves that point even more. I think Evernight smiling at him is like a little nod to the fact that she's a transmigrator and somehow she can tell that he is too. She smiled at him like, oh, another one has arrived. Like hey, oh, you might, oh, like you're special too. Like a tip of the hat, so to speak. By the way, is the music really loud or is it just me? Am I losing my fucking mind? I'm gonna turn it down a little. It feels really loud. I would think so, Amnesiac. I would think like she's a transmigrator and she noticed that he was too, and she went like tip of the hat to you, sir. You're special too. So am I. You know, you're basing that theory on some BS. Fuck you, man. Be nice. Top of the morning to you, lad. That whole sort of thing, you know. Or maybe she just likes her servant who sacrificed himself to protect her believers. Okay. You know what I say to that? Let me pull up. I got a meme for that. Hold on. All right, I got a meme for that. Hold on. Bro, I'm trying everything I can to get this fucking stream demonetized. I keep showing shit.
Odds was your only purpose. To die. In your name. Purpose. There's nothing for you after death. Except death.
Oh, where was it? Where was it?
Followers to replace you. There always are. We have some eternal reward for you, dog.
This is there's no eternal. Yeah, okay. Basically, this is Gore. He's like, oh my lord. He finally meets his god. He's like, my god, we have sacrificed for you. We haven't eaten them in weeks, and now we finally receive the eternal reward. And his god goes, eternal reward. he thinks there's an eternal reward. There's nothing for you, dog. That's that's the Evernight goddess. She doesn't give a fuck about you. She doesn't care about her believers. Let's be clear, okay? Do not serve God for an eternal reward, okay? They butchered Gore? Yeah, Gore is a fucking terrifying nightmare, bro. Gore is the God Butcher. You were saying gods can't descend? What do you think now? I don't know. I thought my previous theory was pretty good, that they can't descend because they're like afraid of awakening something, and in the world, like ASG or something. I don't know. So Kratos from Wish. No, that's the thing, man. In the comics, Gore is goated. In the comics, to canonically beat Gore, Thor had to get 2 more Thors from alternate universes or like past timelines or some bullshit to fight him. Like, there had to be 3 Thors at a time to beat Gore. That's how fucking strong he is. Alright, bye, Mealers. Thanks for staying for so long, buddy. I appreciate it. Okay. Now we have to... Okay, we've spent half an hour just talking. We gotta read, okay? Colane City, inside the inn. Klein sat on the chair. Beside him, Admiral Hell stood straight, wearing a mask and with a rapier by his side. Only at this point in time did Klein, who had calmed down, had the capacity to analyze what had happened. First, the female voice that offered him 3 choices. Second, this matter is definitely advantageous to her, otherwise no one would cross such a great distance to provide help. Of course, if she happened to pass by and had helped Mr. Azik out of goodwill, that's understandable, but the problem is that mausoleum is a byproduct formed from Death's godly powers when he perished. Without the corresponding key, even deities can't find it. With a door that can't be opened, how did anyone just pass by? I would assume Evernight popped by to say, like... I would assume Evernight popped by to stop Death from resurrecting, basically? Alright, thanks for staying for so long, Pushkar. I appreciate it, man. Evernight stopped by to, because otherwise Azik was gonna forcibly, become one and Death was gonna resurrect, right? So she popped by to give him the choice because she didn't want to force him, but she also knew that he would almost certainly not pick the first one, and either 2 and 3 were gonna result in him not becoming Death, so she didn't kind of care which one. We're not doing a round 2, bro. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, that's a good point. Also, Mr. Azik's actions were sudden. What do you think happened to the artificial death? I think he did. Also, Mr. Azik's actions are sudden. He didn't directly seek out the members of the numinous episcopate that are carrying out the artificial death project. He directly followed the calling and arrived at the Berserk Sea and entered Death's treasure trove. If it's not someone who can locate me or him, or them being someone who has a strong ability, there's almost no existence that can arrive so quickly. Finally, the Salinger that can revive via Mr. Azik's body is almost certainly the I'm mad, but I'm stronger Death from the 4th epoch. What the fuck? That female voice addressed him by his name. As Klein seriously analyzed the information, he had a theory. Based on what he knew, Evernight, Death, and the Giant Beyonder were a group of its own. They could be interchanged. And other than using the honorific name of the Lady of Crimson or some special grade 0 artifact to occupy a portion of the moon's authority, the goddess also had the title of Mistress of Repose and Silence. That totally pointed to the underworld and Death's domain. Retail 941 today? Yeah, okay, thanks. And back at Foggy Town, with the use of the Holy Sword to make a vow, with the goddesses bearing witness, as well as the goddess clearly posing the authority of misfortune, Klein believed that he had entered her special watch list, just like how he had singled out certain believers using the Sea God Scepter. A bold assumption, but almost all my questions are answered if it's the goddess. And one of the 7 Orthodox deities, as well as the winners of the Pale Era, she has the level and right to address Death by his name. She has even been labeled by her, once everything abnormal happens, such as me entering a strange place like Death's treasure trove. She would definitely sense it and take action. Furthermore, as it definitely requires time, she didn't manage to stop it at the beginning. To her, the artificial death, or the Death's pathway uniqueness, had initially come to life, clearly enhancing her authority. It might even allow her to intrude into the Death's domain. When Death perished, the 3 Sequence 1 characteristics should have automatically separated. I don't know who has them, or if the goddess is searching for them. Or perhaps, Ruler of the Ancient Underworld, Lady of the Undead will be added to her title. Klein has been acting like a clown trying to stay under her radar, which is, yeah, exactly. This is like, that would be the equivalent of like, you know, as a kid, you're hiding, or like the lights are off and you're like playing games or whatever, and then your parents open the door and you pretend to be asleep, and then you hear the door close and you're like, oh, thank God. You're like, like they didn't notice. And then you come up again and you realize they're standing in the room and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And you're like, oh, I'm so cooked. Yeah, this is the equivalent. Like, she's standing there. She's like, the fuck are you up to? What do you think is happening here? You hide from me? Although Azik has been pursued by the church's high-sequence Beyonders, he has never suffered any real threat. From the looks of it, the goddess has been waiting for today's developments. Klein was rather pious, and at the very least, he superficially raised his hand in a pious manner and said, "Praise the Lady." Praise the Lady, yes. This made him recall the answer that he had received while he asked Snake of Death about obtaining the high sequence characteristic. It can only be obtained from Zaratul or the Hornasis mountain range. If you are blessed by the Evernight, treat it as though I didn't say it. And he is blessed by the Evernight. And Dr. Z, deep breaths. and you know it's bad when Zaza's telling you this, so just take a deep breath, you're okay. After the incident at Foggy Town, Klein had already discovered that heading to the Hornasis mountain range and finding Zaratul was the same choice. Even stealing the indigenous family notebook was the same, and up to this day, he realized that the second line was not without meaning. He muttered, "Perhaps I really am a blessed of the Evernight." On one hand, he had spent the first few months after coming to this world as a tinged Nighthawk. He had a great group of teammates and colleagues. He had a rather heartwarming life and acceptable ideals. On the other hand, at least on what he had seen to date, the Evernight goddess had yet to show any ill intent. Instead, she had given him some blessings. Klein believed that since he had been specially marked, it was unlikely that he could be free from it anytime soon. All I can learn to do is accept it and make good use of it. I can't let down my guard. I've already encountered too many enemies in the Mother Tree of Desire, True Creator, Primordial Demoness, Primordial Moon, Amon, Ouroboros, and others. Bro's a sequence 5 and his angels are what I would assume Super God, 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 King of Angel. Bro, chill. To him, as long as the goddess had labeled him from the moment he made the vow with the Holy Sword, and not earlier, he was okay with it. And, bro finally found a god who doesn't want him dead. True, he finally has a friend. Thunder, exactly like you said. You gain some, you lose some. You know, you lose a sugar daddy, you get a sugar mommy. You're chilling. At least from the special effects afforded to me by the Sea God Scepter, constant monitoring isn't possible. Mr. Azik will be asleep for a while, and the goddess can't just do defined descents as she pleases. She probably can. Based on that, she probably can. She did it for the Great Smog of Backland, and she did it now. And she did it for the Thing pathway, and she did it for him to become a demigod. Or at least get the demigod thing. She probably can, dude. The goddess can't just do as she pleases. There must be some obstacles and difficulties. I doubt it. Otherwise, the orthodox deities would have made divine descents all across the world to solve problems. That's why I should keep a low profile and behave myself. In the southern continent, I shouldn't try to pin all my hopes on her. Klein then scrutinized his new marionette, the Admiral Hell. To be frank, he was rather curious about the face hidden underneath the mask. Watch, almost certainly there's going to be some pretty boy little fuck. Like how Mr. A of the Aurora Order, we always expected like, oh, like, you know, he's out of his mind. He's got to be insane. No, this motherfucker was a handsome boy, you know? So I think he's going to be the same. After some rough understanding, after some work, Klein gained a rough understanding of his marionette's powers. He was a Sequence 5 gatekeeper of the Death Pathway. And corresponding Sequence 9 was Corpse Collector. Back in Tingen, he had learned of its specifics. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not reading all the powers of Sequence 9 through 5. I don't give a fuck. I'll read some of it. From Spirit Medium onwards, with the advancement of each sequence, the quantity and quality of natural spirits, undead spirits, and spirit world creatures that the Beyonders could control and order increased exponentially. Spirit world guides... spirit guides gained the additional use of the language of the dead. They had the ability... their ability was enhanced to give out orders to the extent of slavery. Gatekeepers could even keep the mysterious gate that separated life and death open to a degree. If it wasn't for the natural restraints that Azik's copper whistle had on the Corpse Collector pathway, I probably wouldn't have even had what it takes to fight Admiral Hell back then. And even now, if not for traveling to ensure my safety, I might not be able to finish off Ludwell either. Have a little faith in yourself, you could. In the future, I have to take note when taking revenge on Ince. He was once a gatekeeper after all. Klein nodded slightly. As for the weapon Ludwell had, it was named Harris Rapier. It appeared from a prince of the southern continent in ancient times. It didn't directly correspond to any sequence or pathways. It was more of a product that was similar to the King of the North, Yulisan, who gathered similar characteristics without any rules. It only had one property, bringing absolute destruction to the item it stabbed. Okay. Klein can get rid of Admiral Hell right now. I don't even care. He needs to keep that rapier. Klein needs to have a fucking hand-to-hand combat tool, and that sounds crazy. There's no negative effect? The demigod thing, it was said that anything in the range of 0-17 would disappear. Oh, true. The goddess of concealment, I guess? So she conceals them into the Foggy Town, I guess? As a pirate admiral with the highest bounty, Ludwell didn't only have this item. Unfortunately, his most precious death ring was taken by Azik, and as for the silver mask, Klein had no way to take it off for research. Why not? What? Why can't Klein take off the mask? What? I'm so confused. Also, he doesn't really like money. He has zero need for it. Klein lowered his cup and retracted his gaze. Literally can't pull it off, I guess? That's weird. Considering how it was still early, he planned on leaving Colleen City and heading somewhere else to wait for Danitz. 919. Perfect inference. He's so ugly, you can't see his face. Bleak off my nail. Okay. By the way, so you guys said, so where does volume 4 end? Sorry, I need someone to give me that. I need to write it down. I've asked like 84 times. 944, I think it was. Okay, so there's 24 chapters between now and then. 940. Okay. You guys gave me like 8 different answers. 946, thank you. Okay. So there's 27 chapters between now and then. I would like to do, let's say 9. Zeb, how's it going, man? Thanks for popping by. I appreciate it. How you doing? 9:38, 9:46 have to be in one go? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So 9:46. Are you Indian? No, I'm Canadian, Zeb. Also, interesting second message. Backland, Sherwood Borough. Fours, who was having an afternoon nap, jolted awake from her dream, seeing an endless grey fog, and Mr. Moon. Read till 9:41, then take a 1 week break. Oh, that would be so funny. Dude, Merlin, I want to do that. I want to do that. Not that, but I want to go to 9. I want to go 1 chapter before a volume end and then leave it. I'll be like, I'm going to take a break. And then just be like, nah, I'm not coming back. Fuck it. I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that. I was like, just to absolutely fuck with you guys. Backland, Sherwood Borough. Forrest, who was having an afternoon nap, was jolted awake as she saw Mr. Moon in the endless grey fog. In the southeast outskirts of Backland, in the middle of the Delaire Forest, there was an abandoned ancient castle. In it are at least 2 ancient wraiths and dead spirits. The possibility of other creatures are also there, and it cannot be eliminated. The coordinates are... I finally have information on the main ingredient of Scribe, information worth £300. Forrest was delighted as she thanked Mr. Fool, and sought him to pass her message to the moon that she would make payment shortly. Unfortunately, you won't be able to. Oh, no, Nightwalker, don't get me wrong. I would end stream and then read it personally, but like just tell you guys, but just not do it with you. No, Merlin, I would read it, just I wouldn't do it with you guys. That would be amazing. After completing this, she got out of bed and went to the first floor. She planned on pouring herself some wine and making some preparations. For the meantime, Leimano's travel can't be rented, and Gio needs to come. That castle has several dead spirits and is dangerous. I have to consider the combination of spells. If there's anything lacking, I'll hire the World, the Hanged Man, and the Sun to record the corresponding powers. Although Forrest lacked actual combat experience, she had been mixing with Beyonder circles for years. She had joined the Tarot Club later. She had seen and heard much and knew the preparations needed. As for directly hiring the World, she had long struck it off. She believed that giving all the spoils and savings to him was not enough to hire him. Oh, she's literally going, I'm too poor to hire him. Love that. Very good. In theory, I shouldn't reach that stage. Oh, sorry. Of course, if her attempts at exploration proved that the castle was beyond her abilities, she would have no choice but to shoulder the debt. After all, there was only one hope of returning alive. In theory, it shouldn't get that bad. There are still 2 demigod powers in Leimano's travel from the World. At most, I'll use it first and think of means to make up for it later. The only problem is that the 2 demigod powers might not be suitable against wraiths and dead spirits. At this point, Forrest walked in. Desi Pie? Forrest asked immediately. Haven't you had a lot of commissions recently? Why are you getting back so early? I happened to walk past it. I also hadn't had lunch, so I wanted to take a break. I've accumulated enough points so I can soon exchange for the interrogator potion formula. Although her monitoring of the Royal Guard Captain Viscount hadn't made any progress, it was the kind that accumulated points daily. All she needed to do was submit a passable report every week. Finally, Force was actually happy for her friend. There are two people in Wiz. Yeah, oh, yes. Then she shook the wine cup in her hand. Shall we celebrate with a drink? Wait, Nightwalker, what about the VTuber? Has he stopped? What happened with that? What happened with that guy? This is great. After becoming a Sequence 7, Gio should experience a qualitative change. It will make exploring that ancient castle easy. Gio looked at the transparent liquid in the cup before shaking her head. Drinking is bad. Besides, I hate the smell. Before Force could speak, she stood up and walked to the door. I saw the mailbox filled with things. Haven't you opened it today? I didn't have time, Force said. You didn't have time? Zeb, no, I didn't read, I didn't stream the first 50 or so chapters. Those I read privately, and then after that I had the idea of streaming. Force looked as though she was busy. Gio was a person of action. Ignoring her explanation, she went to clear out the mailbox. After about 10 seconds, she walked back with a stack of newspapers and envelopes. She said, "It's all yours. 2 letters from the publishers. One is an invitation, and the other is from Pritz Harbor." Pritz Harbor. Forge's mind stirred as she put, Calderon said we might get information on Calderon. Oh my god, Klein's becoming a fucking demigod soon, bro. Wait, I guess soon is... I mean, it's only 80 chapters away. Chapter 1000 might still clear. Calderon, she then opened the letter from her teacher. Zeb, to be honest, I don't know if that would have been, because chapters 1 through 50 were rather slow. I mean, yeah, Klein becoming a Beyonder, I guess in chapter 30 or so, that would have been cool. Other than that, I can't really think of anything that would have been that cool back then. I mean, maybe. Calderon City is in a rather special, deep spot in the spirit world. I'm not sure of its origins, other than it's very dangerous. A demigod once stepped in there without ever coming out. When selling the actual spirit world coordinates to that gathering member, there's a need for you to warn him. Mr. World's target is so dangerous? The Red Gloves team, which had arrived at the East Balam City, rendezvoused with the local Nighthawks. Everyone shall have half a day off. We will start tomorrow morning, so West said. Yeah, I guess it would have been funny me being confused as fuck. That's true. Nightwalker, what's up with the glaze, man? Do you need something? What the fuck? They were about to strike a secret gathering location of the Numinous Episcopate to find more information of the Artificial Death Project and dig out another batch of enemies that hid in Backland. As for the information obtained from Yulika, they had already sent it to Backland via telegram. They didn't need to worry about the subsequent work. Make me super mod. Alright, sounds good, Zeb. I appreciate you popping by, man. I hope to see you. Hope you can pop by tomorrow. We're going to be ending Volume 4 tomorrow around this time. Thanks, man. Oh, before you go, consider joining our Discord. Link in the description. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for popping by, man. Daly and Leonard were about to seek out their lodgings to rest when the Nighthawks, when the local Nighthawks popped by. A new telegram from Backland. Gehrman has appeared again. Using divination methods, it's been confirmed it's him, Gehrman Sparrow. Leonard wasn't surprised by this. He already knew that Dwayne and his former colleague Klein were alive. What did Gehrman do now? He boarded the Black Tulip and turned Admiral Hell into his marionette. Admiral Hell? Marionette? The Red Gloves and even Leonard were surprised. One had to know that Admiral Hell, who wore the ring left by Death, had the highest bounty among the admirals. He was publicly recognized to be the strongest beneath the four kings. Not anymore, boys! I am the strongest admiral. I'm not even an admiral. Wait, when did I hypothesize about Visionary? To me, it feels like not that long ago. But I mean, my whole shit is fucked, you know? My whole timeline is cooked, so I don't know. Is that theory saved in clips, or, no, I don't even think the clips existed back then. Maybe they do, I don't know. He's already this strong? He infiltrated St. Samuel Cathedral and Chanis Gate to meet the requirements for a demigod ritual? Who is? Or FQ, who is? What? Wait, Kami? Oh, no, wait, no, that's another Kami? Oh. Sorry, there's a guy named Kami-sama who joined the Discord. I was like, wait, Kami, isn't Kami in here? Sorry. Make me mod, my favorite color is blue. That's not a good enough reason, Merlin. I appreciate the try, though. According to the crew that escaped from the Black Tulip, there wasn't a fight. Gearman and another man boarded the ship. The moment the Admiral Hell saw them, he gave up any resistance and prostrated himself onto the deck. He called the man Death Console. Later, he allowed Gearman to turn him into a marionette. Death Console? Leonard subconsciously turned to look at Daly. Okay, hold on. Okay, you know what? I gotta figure out a way to make my fucking Discord shut the fuck up. This is crazy. Can I get a Zaza, you're just gonna lose it. You don't have any fucking sense of control. God damn it. He believed that Sequence 5 Beyonder of the Corpse Collector pathway likely knew what Death Console meant. Daly scoffed and shook her head. I only know that the former Balam Empire, a blood descendant of Death that ruled the real world, was known as Death Console. Yes, right. It should be in the description, at least, I think. Should be. You have me doubting myself. Yeah, yes it is. Whew, you have me doubting myself there. However, the Numinous Episcopate's royal faction leader has never called himself Death Console, another Red Glove mentioned. This was rather open knowledge amongst the Nighthawks. Those that reached Sequence 7 and above, and those who joined the Red Gloves had the right to know this info. As for the Artificial Death faction, it was even more likely for any of them to call themselves Artificial Death. Username, don't you goddamn dare. Who knows? Perhaps the Numinous Episcopate has fractured again. Now there's an additional Death Console faction. Alright, Zaza, thanks for staying for so long, man. I appreciate it. Daly first made a casual comment before she thought and said, Gearman has a mysterious origins and his motive for infiltrating Chanis Gate is unknown. Maybe it really is related to the Numinous Episcopate. The Numinous Episcopate has always had the main target that the Church of the Evernight has been trying to take down. The conflict between the two ran deep. Her statement reminded Leonard of something else because he knew that Gearman was Klein. Furthermore, he had joined a secret organization that worshipped the Fool and represented itself with tarot cards, and had a working relationship with the Numinous Episcopate. Wait, why does Leonard think that the Tarot Club has a working relationship with the Numinous Episcopate? Nah, Dr. Z, he doesn't even need it. Azik is literally just there and he's like, have Having followers would slow me down. I'm too powerful. Oh, because of A's. Oh, I see. Okay. In the few factions of the numinous episcopate, there's no death console. Admiral Hell Ludwell can always be confirmed to be an arm of the numinous episcopate. Dealing with him is equivalent to dealing with the numinous episcopate. Duane once said that the members of the organization come from different places with different goals. Klein's goal is revenge. Could one of the goals of the members be to strike the numinous episcopate, to absorb them and recreate death in their own image? Since there's an undying monster like Duane, it's normal for that secret organization to have an additional ancient death console. Oh, yes, of course. Every good organization has a death console, you know? The Evernight church actually has like 6 of them in the closet downstairs. We just don't use them because their vibe brings the whole shenanigans down. Everyone's like, ugh, this guy, you know? Like, you know, if someone brings like a fucking vegan to a party, everyone's like eating, they're like, oh, this chicken's amazing, and the vegan's like, I actually don't eat, you know, meat, because, you know, they're real people, they're valuable too, and you're like, ugh, get this person the fuck out of here, you know, ugh. Leonard was alarmed, taking the opportunity to ask, old man, could Duane be the death console? No. Balam Empire's death console is both a rank and a title. It's the Sequence 2 of the death pathway. Sequence 2? That organization has an angel? How are you so certain that Duane isn't the death console? Isn't he an angel? Or is he not an angel? No, the reason's simple. You've seen the real death console's portrait before, back when you were the Nighthawk investigating Welch's suicide. You might have even met him. He's a teacher at the Koi University, Azik Eggers. This guy knew and he just didn't tell Leonard? He didn't bother telling him, like, hey, that guy you're looking at? Yeah, he's a fucking angel. He teaches history like 4 blocks away from you. Like, what the fuck? This parasite is out of his fucking mind. Azik, Leonard was taken aback. He finally understood how Klein was able to resurrect from the dead, and why he was fine suffering curses. All this while not showing anything special about himself. The reason was that Klein was a member of an organization with a corresponding tarot card, Death. 9:20. Okay, I think we'll go to like 9:20, 9:22 or something. And then we'll try to get to 9:30 at night. And then that'll allow me like 15, 16 chapters tomorrow, which is a lot. But we should be able to do in like 4 hours. A little bit of a longer stream than normal, but like we'll be okay. But what I will say is, I don't, does anyone know, is Easy streaming today? By the way, is Easy okay? He hasn't streamed in a while. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm okay to eke out more and more of a lead. That's fine with me, but... He's away? Oh, okay. He's on a work trip. Ah, I see. Okay. Okay. So if he's not streaming today, then I might do the night stream a little bit earlier. Just cause I want to get a good night's sleep so that like for tomorrow's stream I'm like all up. I don't want to be like sleepy and tired and shit for tomorrow's stream. That would suck. So we might do it a little bit earlier. Fuck, I won't be able to. God damn it, I won't be able to make the video today then. God damn it. All right, fuck it, fine. Bayam, the slums. Hooded with the mask underneath it, the hanged man Alger once again met with Cat Leia. Finally, Cat Leia said, have you heard the news? The one about Gearman? He turned Admiral Hell into his marionette. Be it Admiral of Blood from before or the present Admiral Hell, they were both pirates who had a higher bounty than her. No matter how confident she was, she didn't believe that the 2 Sequence 5 elites were weaker than her. You learned of it faster than expected, Alger said. Being a member of the Church of Storm, he could directly obtain the latest info. If the future were at sea, I might have to take a few days or even a week to receive it, but in Bayam it's quicker. What else do you know of this matter? Ketlea asked. Alder shook his head. I was trying to figure out the situation when I saw your signal, so I rushed over. Gehrman and Admiral Hell didn't even fight. Ludwell didn't bother resisting, because Gehrman had boarded the Black Tulip with a death console. Alder's pupils dilated. Such a term wasn't something any random demigod could undertake. Bless you, boy. Finally I can sleep well. Furthermore, this wasn't something that the man flaunted, but an honorific term that Admiral Hell Ludwell had used. Furthermore, he gave up resistance. In the Death Pathway, Death Console is the name of a sequence too. Catley added, indeed, an angel of the Death Pathway. As for someone who could make the Admiral Hell become Gehrman's marionette with no resistance, that was not something a mere title could achieve. It must be an angel. At this moment, Alger suddenly thought of something. Something that left an impression on him. That's so interesting, though, because Azik isn't an angel, but he is. Like, now that I think about it, I don't know if he would be able to beat that demoness of an Azik. I mean, maybe he can, but I don't know if he can, you know? Because he's basically undying now. It was undoubtedly the damage dealt by a potent force from the death domain. He's a crippled angel? Yeah. It was undoubtedly the damage dealt by a potent force of the death domain. Even weakened? Oh, he can? The demoness can't look at... Oh, I guess. Yeah, I guess he could just... He has the curse of undying. Even a weak angel is still an angel? Okay. Would we say the same of... Wait, sorry. Was it... I might be going schizoid here. Was it said that Miss Messenger's an angel too? I feel like it was said that, but like I might also be going schizoid. After Vice Admiral Kilongo successfully escaped, he was found standing on the side of an artificial lake, his body collapsing and his flesh rotting. It was undoubtedly the damage dealt by someone by a potent force of the death domain. Bye, Amnesiac. Thanks for sticking around for so long, man. Okay, so it was. So she's basically of a similar thing than... She's basically of a similar thing to Azik then. She might be suffering a curse or something. But like, so she's... But then she was fighting that demigod of the Marauder pathway, no? Not the Marauder... No, not the Marauder pathway. She was fighting that demigod of the... I don't know what pathway. At the end of Volume 3. And she was fighting him like an equal. And he wasn't an angel. He was just a demigod, no? So what about that? Or is her situation a little different? Mutant. Oh, I see. Okay. Alger had no doubts. The Church of Storms, this Church of Storms, Spellsinger of God, Archbishop Snake had determined at the scene that it was done by a high sequence beyond of the death pathway. Alger had no doubts about that. He believed that it was done by a sequence 4 or 3. In other words, a saint, but he felt horrified that Mr. Fool's Blessed was an angel. At that time, he felt horrified that Mr. Fool's Blessed was a high sequencer. You kind of forgot Sua. Oh, yeah, Sua was there, I guess. Oh, true. Okay. Now, he gulped his saliva with great difficulty, believing that he had underestimated Mr. Fool back then. That person wasn't a saint, but a grounded angel, one that shared the same level as the 3 crowns of the Orthodox churches. When it came to religion, the 3 crowns represented the various churches' Pope, Pontiff, and Patriarch. as a death console as a blessed. Although Mr. Fool is recovering, the strength at his disposal is insane. You seem to have recalled something, Cattleya sensed. Based on what I know, Mr. Fool has a death angel among his blessed. That matches, Cattleya said. Then why did the world promise me mythical creature blood that's not of the death angel? That's not from the death angel. Is it due to having closer ties with the other one? Perhaps. We will start the operation tonight at 7:30 to 8, Cattleya said. If you can participate, head over there with me. Why that time? Alger asked. Solo leveling reference? Klein knows 3 angels, a fetus, a spirit world, and half a soul. And the grandpa who's injured. I know, he's such a bitch. Wait, I guess at that point he knows 4 angels, right? The fetus, the grandpa, the spirit world, and Azik, a half soul. Man, he's like a magnet for broken things. It's because it's dinner time for them, Cattleya said. And they'll be having mushrooms for dinner. No! Frank Lee the goat! What's the connection? Alger couldn't understand Cattleya's words. East Balam. In the lush and humid forest, Klein deliberately avoided the main path and came to an uninhabited area. He planned on getting Ludwell to take off his mask. This wasn't only to satisfy his curiosity, but for a genuine reason. The mask was too striking, and if he couldn't deal with it, there was no amount of disguising that could take the attention away. The biggest problem of a marionette is the marionette's identity. The more powerful it is, the more famous they were while alive. Bringing one along with me is at the risk of getting exposed. If it wasn't because I didn't have the time to finish off the pirates on the Black Tulip, I would have had the means to keep it under wraps. For example, I could continue letting Ludwell be the captain while I pretended to be subordinate. To a faceless, that's no problem. There were many mosquitoes around him, but none of them came for him. All of them were circling around Admiral Hell, trying to suck his blood in vain. Klein gave his new marionette the green essence ring, which attracted mosquitoes, I figured. This was because its effects completely were overshadowed by the flower of blood. Wearing the 2 rings was rather meaningless for Enzo. In addition, Klein had also confirmed that Ludwell's situation was special. He wasn't afraid of being bitten. After walking a while, Klein casually tossed a coin and stopped. After waiting a few minutes, he decided to finish something else before removing the new marionette's mask, because through this process he could confirm the severity of the danger behind the mask. He took out the corresponding items and set up the ritual and move the radio transceiver to the real world. He wanted to contact Erides. Before he left Colane City, he paid Miss Magician £350 for the spirit world coordinates to Calderon City. He had also been warned about the extreme dangers associated with it. Therefore, he planned on getting more information to prepare for that mission as well. The 2 channels were the magic mirror and the red light. Azik being in a slumber, Klein decided not to hesitate. He planned on expanding his social circle and not stubbornly and inflexibly stick to the Evernight goddess. He needed to find powers to balance things, and the relatively friendly 7 lights were a great choice. After about 10 seconds, the tapping sounds began. Exalted Great Master, your puny, loyal, humble servant, Erides is here. There's temporarily no danger here. What say you? Indeed, Klein nodded. What do you think of Calderon City in the spirit world? I can't see that city too clearly. I don't know its exact state, but I can confirm that a saint has perished there before. There were also certain angels, travelers, and spirit world creatures who entered and never left. Or wait. There were also certain angels, travelers, spirit world creatures who had once entered to explore it and left it alive in a relatively smooth manner, but none of them got much out of it. And I know the origins of the city. Thunder, shh, stop it. No, don't. Oh. I was skimming to see if there's anything important. Without waiting for Klein to press, more paper spat out. The name of the former city was the City of the Dead. It was a grounded divine kingdom of the ancient goddess, Phoenix ancestor Gregres. So it was related to the underworld, because Phoenix ancestor Gregres led the death pathway, but it wasn't related to the ancient death, which is where Azik comes from, so he doesn't know of it. I see. Okay. Clever, clever, clever gal. Romero, I'm going to have to go back and take out so much for lore. I'll do this later too. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Ever since that goddess opened up the underworld, her divine kingdom was moved there. The City of the Dead gradually became the holy grounds for her descendants and believers. Before Gregres was heavily injured by the ASG and the city uprooted and thrown into the deep spirit world, none of its citizens ever came out again. The name Calderon originates from the Abraham family angel who first stepped there. In the language of the dead, it means unknown soul. Okay, I'm going to go for another half hour. I'll try to get 2 more chapters. If I only get one, we only get one. Then we'll try to get, no, we won't try. We'll get to 9:30 tomorrow, or tonight. And then tomorrow morning, we will get to ending of volume 4. Jesus, man, that is crazy. Ooh, that reminds me. Romero, I will schedule the stream for tomorrow right now. I won't schedule the one for tonight because we'll figure out what that looks like later. But figure out the one for tomorrow right now. So if you have a second or if someone else has a second, toss it in the Reddit if you guys don't mind, please. Love you. Yes, I know you're still banned from it, username. You should really consider your actions that cause you such harm. Sent you the link for the... Yes, Romero, I did see that. Thank you so much, man. Okay. I scheduled it for tomorrow at 12. Well, noon my time, but who the fuck knows what time it is for everyone else. Okay. When it came to the understanding of ASG, of ancient gods, Klein knew as much as High Sequence Beyonders. After all, he had the City of Silver who had continued on from the Second Epoch till today. Based on what he knew, Gregres was the so-called ancient goddess. Because of the City of Silver's... Dr. Z, that was my problem. I thought Gregres was a guy, but I thought Flagrea was a girl, and I was wrong on both of those. Gregres was the so-called ancient goddess. Because of the City of Silver's ancient creator, ASG, who had eventually ended up being consumed by the Kings of Angels, dealt heavy damage to her. Eventually, she perished at the end of the Second Epoch. However, her influence had yet to dissipate. Signs of her existence remained because she was the founder of the underworld. That sounds dangerous, Klein thought. Apart from that, I'm unsure of the rest, Eridas said. Great Master, I have a suggestion. Would you like to hear it? That's a good question. Klein reined in his thoughts. Speak. Regarding Calderon City, you can ask Red Light Ayura Moria. I still have to ask him in the end. Klein nodded. Is there any danger if I were to remove Admiral Hell's mask? No. A decisive answer. That's good. Let's end it here for today. Great Master, Wise Master, in another minute or two, gaze will be cast here. Your loyal and humble servant, Eridas, awaits your next summoning. Goodbye. Another minute or two? Why didn't you say it earlier, idiot? Klein was alarmed as he saw a countdown. He used the altar and material he had cleared up to set up a ritual. He then threw the transceiver above the grey fog. After doing all this and confirming there were no anomalies, Klein made Ludwell walk to the side and not face him directly as he took off the mask. Gloomy, pale white light spewed out. Meanwhile, the radio transceiver had been sent above the grey fog. The gloomy, cold feeling had dispersed in the nearby forest again. Furthermore, it had an indescribable sense of horror. This reminded Klein of a cemetery. After waiting a few seconds and seeing that there was no additional problems, he made his marionette, Winner Enzo, circle to Ludwell's front and observe his face. The face lacked flesh. Its skin clung tightly to the bones without color. It was as translucent as crystal. Admiral Hell doesn't have fucking skin? Bro, when he said let's end the show, I thought he was ending stream. No, I'll let you guys know when I'm ending stream. It's sudden, but it's not that sudden. By the way, I don't think I've seen you here before, man. How you doing? He has skin, but he doesn't have flesh? Are the two not... Does flesh not mean skin? Thanks for popping by. I appreciate it. When Admiral Hell looks hellish, fair enough. Isn't flesh muscle? I thought flesh was skin. What? Queen, we're either going to end this chapter or the next. I don't know. Beneath the crystal transparent, indescribable shadows quickly flowed out, at times fusing with the skull. Compared to the first 1 or 2 months of his transmigration, Klein would have been shocked at Admiral Hell's appearance, but now he wasn't shocked by anything. After another round of research, Klein completely figured out Ludwell's condition. This stemmed from the traits of being a gatekeeper. At Sequence 5, Gatekeeper, Beyonders could use their bodies as cages, which belonged exclusively to the underworld, allowing them to contain a certain number of souls, spirits, and deceased. As such, they obtained all kinds of powers through their helpers. Another purpose of the Gatekeeper was an ancient role to guard the underworld in their bodies, preventing the souls contained from escaping. After the ancient death, Gregarious created the spirit underworld. It was the bestowment of a small amount of death pathway authorities to all Gatekeepers. This made the Beyonders of this pathway, or of this sequence, receive an enhancement in strength. How much time does it take for you to read a chapter? Generally, it's about 15 minutes to 20 minutes, but if we start talking midway, that number could be anything, literally. Yeah, we'll end it tomorrow. We'll end volume 4 tomorrow, Pushkar. Didn't you leave? You came back when you saw it scheduled, I guess? The reason why Ludwell kept the mask was because he had contained a powerful underworld creature in him. On the other hand, this creature could be used by him, but it was eroding his body, turning him into half-human, half-dead existence. This was a combination of Gatekeeper's own power and authority with the augmentation of the Death's Ring. Half-human, half-dead. No wonder Ludwell dares to enter the underworld. A real living person probably can't survive a second in there. I was gonna say, but saw the schedule. Alright, bye Pushkar. You have a good night, man. The underworld creature gives him some spirit body traits of a dead soul, allowing him to extract the spirit bodies of others remotely. This mask's purpose was to placate the soul, allowing the underworld creature to be relatively calm most of the time. He wanted to contact one of the spirit world's 7 lights, Klein now thought. Lighting the 3 candles and dripping liquids with like mint essence oil, Klein specifically took out a paper figurine and placed it on the altar for the soul fall. Klein had thought of 2 possibilities. First, the possessed body would lose all senses, then they would have the corresponding existence control a part of their body to facilitate a question and answer. The simplest was to use the mouth to speak and the other control a hand to write. Klein then summoned, I summon in my name. I pray to communicate with the inextinguishable light of the spirit world, the embodiment of infinite knowledge, the red who wields authority and will. Alright, bye Nightwalker. Not Nightwalker, god damn it. Bye username, see ya man. The biggest difference between spirit channeling and ordinary ones was that it couldn't... what did you think of the Gregarious lore? I mean, it makes sense. I thought she was it made sense. I knew she was off the death pathway. I did not expect her to make the underworld, but that is clever. Because when it was said that the underworld... that the Calderon City was part of the underworld, or that it was under the death pathway, but it was not... But then Azik didn't know about it. I was like, interesting. Maybe Azik just doesn't remember, but no, that makes so much more sense. Very clever. Very clever writing. No, Nightwalker, I saw you write bye, and then I said bye, and then I read the rest of the message, and I went, never mind. The biggest ritual between the spirit channeling ritual and ordinary ones was that it couldn't be directed to deities. Their honorific names couldn't appear in the ritual. This meant that the spirit world's 7 lights didn't serve any deities. The area around the altar turned silent. A gloomy air flew past. Greetings. As Klein recalled the description of the spirit world lights, he spoke. Hello there. The red figurine's head moved slightly as it said, Your Excellence, Ayur Moria, I have a question I would like to ask you. You can just call me Ayur Moria. Please go ahead and ask. I wish to get information on Calderon City. Can I know your purpose? To hunt a spirit world plunderer. That's indeed something that can only be found in Calderon City with ease. Elsewhere, spirit world plunderers are like a drop of water in the ocean, very hard to find. And even I will occasionally discover them. I'm unable to lock onto them for long. A number of them are active in the core region of Calderon City. A few are scattered in the periphery. As long as you don't attempt to go too deep inside, it's not too dangerous. Unfortunately, due to special reasons, we are prohibited from entering. Us 7 Light are prohibited from entering. Otherwise, we could provide you with some actual help. That is Wiz, just skip a whole... Thunder, I skim over them, and as long as it's nothing like, too important, I'll be like, whatever. Besides, I'm really hungry, so... but I want to read a bit, because otherwise tomorrow's stream is going to be hellishly long. That's formerly the divine kingdom of the ancient goddess Gregarious, Klein asked. Yes, the ancient death wished to revive herself using the city of the dead, but she failed completely. The authority was taken back by Balaam's death. Just take a break to eat? No, I'm going to end stream in like 15 minutes. I'm not taking a break now, Kami. Unless you want me to take a 15-minute break before I come back to read for 8 minutes and then I end stream. However, this makes Calderon City very dangerous because the setup left by the ancient goddess underwent an anomaly after failure. What it became, I do not know. Is that so? Klein raised a few more questions and received answers. Bayam, outside a house, Aldra and Cat Leia were waiting patiently, waiting for the people inside to finish their dinner. Alright, we got 15 minutes. We'll do one last chapter of mushrooms and fish. Oh, fuck. Those guys are cooked. And the fish, not just the mushrooms? That's crazy. And then we're done. And then we'll stream in like 6 hours, 5 hours. I don't know. I'll give y'all a heads up. Both deaths dead. I'm telling you, death is... I'm telling you, they're not dead, man. They're method acting. You know, they're doing the acting method. How else do you do death? How else do you act as death if you don't die? I'm telling you. It's a great acting method choice. There's exactly order. Very good. Fish and chips. Looking at the lights outside, Alger, who was just about to ask about the operation when he saw a shadow grow out of the darkness. Heath Doyle, Alger realized. Heath didn't look at Alger and said to Cattleya, "Captain, didn't notice anything and turned those mushrooms into cream of mushroom soup. They plan to use the fish as tonight's main course." "Excellent," Cattleya said. Heath didn't speak any further as he returned to the shadows. After hearing their conversation, combining it with what Cattleya previously mentioned, Alger had a rough idea. Mushrooms, poisonous mushrooms. Although he didn't know what method Cattleya was using for the Beyonder's intuitions not to be effective, Alger believed that there was nothing impossible. He hesitantly asked, "Will this cause CL to die?" Unaffiliated artisans were very rare, so Klein didn't wish to lose him. "No," Cattleya said. "Be it from the information you gave and the observations of my crew, there's one point to take note of. CL doesn't like fish. He hates it." And it was because of this matter that Cattleya chose this strategy. It could effectively reduce the enemy's effective strength while allowing their side to minimize risks. But what about the mushrooms? "That's acting philosophy. Though you command the underworld, you are destined to join your subjects." Yes. A good ruler sees through the eyes of his subjects, you know? The dark environment bred mushrooms that devoured flesh and blood were the first to be eliminated by Cattleya because they could let Beyonders with sharp intuition sense something. In addition, Beyonders who believed in the primordial moon had a good understanding of herbs, plants, and fruits. To trick them, the only way was for the food to be harmless itself. Only through its contact with something else did the mutation occur. So the mushrooms are fine, and because the guy's not going to eat fish, nothing's going to happen. But since they're going to eat the mushrooms and the fish, the mushrooms are going to start eating the fish and start growing and then start eating them. Whereas he didn't eat the fish, so he's chilling. Very good. Cattleya specifically got Frank to temporarily abandon his experiments and obtain a batch of those mushrooms. She promised to hunt an Aurora Order Rose Bishop for him. "Hates fish," Alger whispered. He couldn't understand what was happening. He had clearly asked if the poisonous mushrooms would cause CL's death, but the answer received was nothing that he understood. Is there some connection between the two? He maintained his silence. After a while, there were screams from inside the house, following with pangs of painful grunts and vomiting. "Begin," Cattleya ordered. "Mr. Fool!" "Good afternoon, Mr. Fool." Cattleya's figure turned transparent, turning into a sculpture formed by countless stars. As the stars gathered inside, Cattleya materialized. The doorframe shook before the door opened. Alger entered the building. Nods. Very good. Cialf was retreating from the table with a look of horror. On the ground, there were two men and women constantly vomiting. At their chests, there were clothes that had ripped apart as a mushroom sprouted. Alger's face twitched. Cattleya had expected this, but she had never expected such a harrowing sight. She held her right hand to her mouth and blew a whistle. "Is there a way to stop this?" Cattleya asked. Heath Doyle's voice sounded. Frank said that he hadn't obtained a way to stop it. The only way is cremation. Cremation? Cattleya's eyes quivered. As she threw out some powder from her pocket and threw it out, the powder seemed to have a life of its own as they landed on the three primitive moon believers. Silently, they burst into flames. Cielf, the artisan, was already dumbstruck by witnessing the mutation. Hence he stood up, waiting. He knew that he was of significant value, no matter where he went. They wouldn't harm him. Furthermore, Cattleya had no such infamy to her name. Mr. A, Volume 2, Version 2, yes. Yes. Worst comes to worst, I'll just have to join the Star Pirates. Besides, this Admiral seems to be more beautiful than the bounty notices. Cattleya glanced at him and observed his appearance, and all she could do was confirm that he was a classic example of someone from Intes. Cattleya deliberated and said, I have been introduced by a friend hoping to get you to create a mystical item, but I later discovered that you were with some primordial moon believers. The three of them aren't too strong and couldn't restrain you. Why are you still here? Cattleya's main hypothetical enemy was the artisan himself, because she could neither kill him nor control him. Furthermore, he still had many well-matched mystical items, making him a strong enemy. Sea Elf said with a smile, They had strong ones in Bayam in the beginning. Using particular floral fragrances and powders, they injected me with some ailment, making me weaker. But you've already recovered. Why didn't you escape? Cattleya asked. While I was under their control, they told me that as long as I believed in the primordial moon, I could use certain rituals to treat my illness. I couldn't resist the temptation and tried it, and it succeeded. I found the feeling of being a man again. Oh, he is having some, performance issues. It's not uncommon in men of his age, Having said that, he came to a halt, realizing that he had said too much. This is him letting himself go? He losing his abilities in bed, Alder chuckled. Sea Elf looked up and glanced at them, and seeing that no one was mocking him, he continued, It wasn't something that relied on medicine. I really recovered my young, virile state. Later. What the fuck? Later, I had 2 dreams of a moon that was bloody and very enticing. I believed that I had already become a believer of the primordial moon and didn't dare escaping. Cattleya and Alder exchanged glances, passing judgment on him. As long as someone believed in an evil god or devil or some existence, unless they were willing to continue their fate and slowly become crazier, there was no regret. Even if they were protected by official Beyonder factions and didn't suffer problems for a long time, they might end up strangling themselves in their sleep later. This was something nearly unsalvageable. Unless they had earned the right to receive the blessing of a grounded angel like a pope or a major church, or if they accepted being isolated by certain artifacts and live forever underground. Join Primordial Moon? After what I just read, are you out of your fucking mind? Of course, under such situations, there were many who did nothing and managed to live to a ripe old age before dying of unnatural causes. Cattleya didn't mention the Primordial Moon believers again. To her, it was no big problem. This is the last chapter, Mr. Full. This is the last chapter. As long as he could be communicated with and reach a goal and not go crazy, the other matters weren't something Cattleya needed to bother with. She switched topics and said, What mystical items do you have now? I'll choose a few and leave you with the rest. Sea Elf wasn't surprised. She was a pirate, not a policeman. Doing a heist in passing was common. For her, to leave him with some items was rather thankful. In fact, with his level of items, it was possible for him to successfully escape if he wanted to, but he didn't have the courage. Alright, Sea Elf took out his glasses from his pocket. Gargoyle glasses. As long as sight lines are met, it can cause the other party to turn numb all over as though they're being petrified. There are 2 negative effects. First, if one wears it and looks into a mirror, they will turn numb as well. Second, one's body will turn heavy, making them unagile. Bye, Chris! Alright, you're leaving on literally the last line. Isn't that the item I reserved? So it's already been made. Alder couldn't help but narrow his eyes. Wait, dude, oh my god, that's for the world, right? That would be amazing with the spirit roll, with the spirit threads controlling. Because you make them already slow, and then you like petrify them, they're cooked. Or is that for Alder himself? Bro, give that... No, that would be so good. No, it's Alder's... Fuck, no. Klein that would be goated, because you control the spirit body threads, they start getting slow, and then you hit them with petrification, and they're just like... Until they're a marionette, and they're cooked. Oh, that'd be amazing. Client wouldn't take it. He relies on agility. Yeah, but like, then he wouldn't even need to bother because no one would even know that the person he's taking control of that person because he'd be so slow, you know? Let me just check if there's anything in the artwork channel anymore. No, there's not. All right, that's it. Great, guys. We're going to end it there. We'll end the stream there then, I think. If I can figure out where my fucking tab is. We're going to end the stream there. Thank you, everyone, for staying for actually a rather normal stream, 3 hours. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day or night. I'll catch y'all in a couple of hours to read a little bit more. And then tomorrow, we're going to finish Volume 4. Please, 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 if you can, pop by tomorrow. That's it, y'all. I'll catch y'all a little bit later. Love you guys as always. Thank you so much.